Welcome into McKeon Park here in Hyannis, Massachusetts, where the Harbor Hawks come home for game number 25 after a well-rested off day for game number 4 of this year's series of the Patriot Cup against their arch rivals in the Cotuit Kettleers. Hi, everybody. I'm your host for this evening, Lyle Goldstein, here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show. We're just about 25 minutes from getting squared off between the Western Division foes in Hyannis and Cotuit. These teams matched up just a couple of days ago. That came back in game 21 for the Harbor, for 22 for the Harbor Hawks, 21 for the Kettleers. That was back on Saturday evening, where John Baker got the win for Cotuit, going 6 innings, giving just one earned run up in those 6 innings of play. Struck out six hits allowed, where Jordan Fowler struggled a little bit in his start, 3 and a third inning, 6 earned runs on 6 hits. But now they turn around tonight with 2 new fresh faces on the mound for each respective team. Keegan Gillies, the pitcher for Cotuit, and Nick McDonald, the starter for the Harbor Hawks out of Florida International, hasn't pitched since the 4th of July against the Whitey Red Sox, where Hyannis dropped that game by a score of 7-2. We mentioned the well-rested off day. That came yesterday on a beautiful Tuesday. Now on Monday, the Harbor Hawks squared up against the Harwich Mariners and swept Harwich all 4 games of this young summer. 2018, 4-0, all games going to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. As for game number 4, they were out at White House Field and won that game over Harwich by a final score of 4-3. We'll take you back and relive that one right here.
Season for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks comes from White House Field as Hyannis looks to jump out in front in the Western Division away from a two-way tie with the Wareham Gatemen against the Harwich Mariners, and also complete a 4-0 series sweep in the season series. Out towards the gap in right center for a base hit. Chris Gallen comes around to score. Matt Gorski slides into third, or comes home and scores. Aaron Schunk moving over to second base, Andre Lipsius moving over to second base, and the RBI single from Tanner Morris puts the Harwich Mariners out front 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Now the 3-2. High and outside, ball 4. So there's a little bit of offense for you. Will Holland comes in to score off the free pass to Matt Barefoot, and Hyannis finally gets a run on the board. Top of the third inning with 1 man down. It is now 2-1 Harwich.
The drive out to deep left field. Going back is Eichhoff, looks up, and that ball's history. Davis Wenzel leads off the top of the 7th with a solo shot and makes this a 4-3 game in favor of the Harbor Hawks. The Minnesota right-hander ready from the set. The 1-2 pitch, called strike 3, and that'll do it. Harbor Hawks sweep the Mariners on the 2018 summer, pick up a win here at White House Field, and stay up to par with the Wareham Gatemen, as the Harbor Hawks now have 30 points on the summer and move to a record of 14-8-2.
Those were the highlights from Monday's ball game between Harwich and Hyannis. Again, Hyannis taking that one by a score of 4-3 to move to 4-0 on the summer against the Harwich Mariners. Hyannis now sits with a record as we speak of 14-8-2. Cotuit tonight comes in at 12-11-1. The lineups for tonight before we toss you to a quick break. Starting off with the visiting Cotuit Kettleers, Zach Bierman leading off, playing first base out of Coastal Carolina. He'll be followed by Michael Tolia. He has been red hot for this Cotuit team as of the last week. He's out of UCLA playing right field. Thomas Dillard in the number 3 hole, the designated hitter out of Ole Miss. Cleanup spot will be Peyton Burdick, who made his Cape Cod shining moment early on in this young summer, in game 1 to be exact, with 3 home runs on opening night. He's in the number 4 spot tonight out of Wright State playing left field. Ryan Reynolds hitting 5th and playing 3rd for Texas. He'll be followed by Duke Ellis, center fielder, also plays his ball down in Austin at UT. Corey Wood hitting 7th, playing second base out of Coastal Carolina. And a pair of TCU Horned Frogs in the 8-9 spot between Zach Humphreys doing the catching and Adam Oviedo at short. Once again, starter for the Cotuit Kettleers, Keegan Gillis out of Tulane University. Now turning things over for the hometown team in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They'll be led off by Davis Wenzel, the walk machine out of Baylor, playing third base. Braden Como hitting second and playing second. You probably heard that like a broken record this summer. Matthew Barefoot hitting third, playing left field out of Campbell. Trevor Harbour in the cleanup spot out of ASU playing right. He'll be followed by Pedro Pages playing first base, the Florida Atlantic product. Todd Lott doing the designated hitting sixth, followed by Will Holland out of Auburn playing short. Kyle Wilkie in the 8th spot doing the catching, and rounding out the 9, Tommy Jew, the center fielder out of UCSB. We'll take a quick break here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show, and when we come back, we'll take you around the league for score updates, as well as talking to our scout liaison, David Mandelberg, to talk about tonight's matchup, as well as Monday's game, we should say, and what we've seen out of a lot of these Hyannis pitchers this summer. Don't go anywhere when we come back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show, just 15 minutes away from Game 4 of the Patriot Cup here at McKeon Park between Cotuit and Hyannis. I'm joined now by our scout liaison in David Mandelberg, who's getting on for the second time this summer, as he was joined on a pregame show just a couple of days ago. But David, you're continuing to get some on-air time. How you doing, buddy?
I love it. I love being on radio. I love being on TV. I love being on the internet. It's just great to be able to talk, And I think you, Rob, and Chris have been doing a really great job this year. And, I think you guys have one of the best production values in the Cape so far.
Well, we appreciate it as always, David. Now, speaking of talking, let's get things going, starting with the starter tonight for the Harbor Hawks, and Nick McDonald out of Florida International, the right-hander. Not a guy that really overpowers you with any of his stuff, particularly his fastball, which sits in the mid to high 80s. But for the most part of the season, especially within his last couple of starts, he's been really efficient. What have you seen out of him this season?
So when I look at him, I see what I originally thought was a 3-pitch selection. It's actually 4 pitches. He's got his fastball, as you talked about, in the high 80s. He can locate that really well, and that is why he's been so efficient. He's got that curve, which 12-6 is one of the most beautiful curves I've seen while on the Cape. It's seamless, and it just goes down on you. And a changeup. Changeup, like you're saying, changeup, it gets the job done. He locates. He doesn't throw it as often as the other two. And, I think it's a solid third pitch. What I learned today from Coach Korn was actually he throws a slider in addition, which is like the changeup, tilts a little bit more, not as vertical, and is around the same, velocity. So I think Nick McDonald is a good pitcher. I think that he gets the job done. I'm excited to see him tonight as well.
Yeah, McDonald, like David just said, 4-pitch guy, mainly uses his fastball and his curveball with a high percentage. But now quickly taking you back to Monday's game, we should say, after an off day yesterday. Jeremy Randolph got the start for the Harbor Hawks, and in his outing just the other night at White House Field against Harwich, 4 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. And that's what I want to really get to here about Jeremy Randolph this season, because he's now got 31 strikeouts on the summer. For a guy that's got just a 5'10" frame hold, he has got some real swing and miss stuff in his repertoire.
So what really surprises me is that, we started him off in the bullpen this year, and he's come out and he's really progressed very well, continuing to rack up in strikeouts. I mean, you know, when I read 9 when I got up the next day, I was like, wow, really 9 doesn't seem like he throws that many strikeouts, but he gets the job done. He's got that slider, and he uses it to great advantage. And even 4 2/3 innings, only 2 earned runs, really keeping us in that game and really helping us towards playoff contention.
So there's 2 pitchers over the last 2 games for you, or we should say the 2 starters within the last 2 games. As we'll see McDonald tonight, it was Jeremy Randolph out of Wright State, the right-hander, back on Monday's game. But now, David, to wrap things up, maybe just a more general question, is you've spent a lot of time this year with the radar gun. You spent a lot of time doing statistics and analytics. When it all comes down to it, because you've seen every different aspect and all things of that sort in terms of these pitchers, of all the things you've seen, of all the pitches you've seen them throw throughout the summer, who's been your favorite Harbor Hawk to watch when it comes down to it in terms of on the mound?
You know, that's really a tough question. I love watching these guys. You know, there's a reason why they're the top collegiate arms. I've been blessed to really work and watch these guys. But so far this year, I mean, you have to say Gavin Hollowell. He throws electric stuff. His fastball sitting in the 93 to 94 mile per hour range. I mean, I was told during his last start, if he was in the MLB, his spin rate for his fastball would be in the top 5, and that's just impressive for a guy that comes out of St. John's. He throws that great sweeping slider, and it throws a good changeup. And, you know, I got asked by scouts today, you know, who do you think is the best pitcher? And I said him without hesitation. He's been doing real well, and I'm really happy that he was able to come this year.
Hollowell went 4 1/3 innings in his previous outing, and what was his last outing against the Wareham Gatemen, where he allowed 3 earned runs, struck out 2. It was the first time all summer that he'd allowed more than an earned run in any of his appearances. And Hollowell, the right-hander out of St. John's, has been far impressive, to say the least. This summer, he has wowed scouts and every fan that's come into the ballpark with that electric fastball, as well as that really nice breaking stuff as well. David, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your insight as always. We'll let you get back down there now, but we hope to catch you soon on another pregame show.
Always. And you know what? I'm sad that Danny's not here to do a pregame interview, and I'm happy I was able to fill in for right now.
Well, David, once again, thank you so much. Really quickly, before we wrap you up with this postgame show and turn it over to Robert Marcello and Chris Lucy with the play-by-play, we will quickly take you around the rest of the league for your Around the League update. Hyannis and Cotuit squaring off tonight for the 4th time this summer, but before that, we take a look out at Stony Brook Field in Brewster, where the Whitecaps currently lead 1-0 over the Whitey Red Sox, who sit in first place in the Eastern Division with 32 points, actually first place in the Cape Cod League for that matter. They have been red hot as of late. They've downed Hyannis once. That was back here at McKeon Park on the 4th of July, and Hyannis tied with Whitey. In the next day after that, out at Red Wilson Field, that game cut short after 8 innings. But Whitey currently trailing, the best team in the Cape, trailing Brewster 1-0. Out at Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, game yet to start between Falmouth and Bourne, as 2 Western Division teams will square off, as Falmouth sits at last place in the Western Conference with 23 points, Bourne in 3rd with 27. Veterans Field in Chatham will see the Anglers and the Wareham Gatemen, Ken Waldachuk, who the Harbor Hawks have seen this summer, left-hander out of St. Mary's, set to start for the Western Division leading Wareham Gatemen, who are in a tie with Hyannis in terms of points with 30, but they're set to take on a torrid hot offense in the Chatham A's out at Veterans Field. That one starts at 7 o'clock. At Eldridge Park in Orleans, another 7 p.m. start. That'll be the Harwich Mariners and the Orleans Firebirds as Tyler Baum takes on Andrew Abbott. Orleans sitting at 4th place in the Eastern Conference with Harwich sitting at 3rd. 23 points for Harwich and 21 for the Firebirds. And finally, one more time here at McKeon Park in Hyannis, Massachusetts. In just 10 minutes, Cotuit and Hyannis set to square off Game 4 of the Patriot Cup. Cavaliers currently lead the series 2-1. Harbor Hawks looking to make that even in just 10 short minutes. That'll do it here for me on the pregame show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein. You can catch me again in the 4th inning for the Around the League update, as well as on the postgame show and Hawk Talk, our video postgame show, which you can catch on YouTube. Hyannis and Cotuit set to square off in just 10 short minutes with Robert Marcello and Chris Lucy on the call. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys then.
copyright. Magic Works Media 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 copyright.
time for lineups and first pitch on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome to game number 25 of the 2018 campaign. I'm Robert Marcello along with Chris Lucy. As today our starter for the game for the Harbor Hawks is Nick McDonald.
Yep, and Nick McDonald has had a bit of a rocky season so far, a 1-1 record, a 5.94 ERA out here on the Cape, 16 and 2/3 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts. So he's somebody that can definitely get people out by way of the K and has looked up recently. I mean, his last start was against the YD Red Sox, and in 5 innings pitched, he only allowed 2 earned runs, struck out 5, only walked 2. So McDonald is a guy that'll pound the zone, and he'll set you up with a couple of quality offerings. He really feels comfortable with his fastball and his curveball, but also offers a changeup and another secondary breaking pitch. So definitely the Sidewinder is somebody who can keep these Kettleers off balance, and hopefully for Harbor Hawk fans, not up the Patriot Cup series at 2-2.
Sure do, as the leadoff man for Cotuit today is Zach Bierman to lead things off here at McKeon Park. As Chris said in the Patriot League Cup, Cotuit's currently up 2-1. This series, the Harbor Hawks trying to knot it up at 2-2. And we're just about to get ready to start here in Hyannis. Nick McDonald stretching just to get ready to pitch. And the first pitch here from McKeon Park is a ball outside. Take you around the infield a little bit. Pedro Pages at first. Braden Como over at second. 1-0 pitch is just in for a strike. It's called a ball. Will Hollins over at shortstop. Davis Wenzel over at third. And left field is Matthew Barefoot, and right is Trevor Hoover. And in center field is Tommy Jew. 2-0 pitches in for a ball. Guy now sits at 3-0.
And Zach Bierman's been having a pretty good season for these Kettleers. He's their leading hitter with a 280 average and 75 at bats. Also leads the team with 21 hits.
McDonald in a little trouble to start here today, quickly being down 3-0 in the count. 3-0 pitch. That is in for a strike. Get me over fastball. That now sits at 3-1.
It's a pitch he's comfortable with, so you can definitely expect him to attack the zone with that one.
3-1 pitch. That is a foul ball. Just goes right over the Harbor Hawks dugout past the fans just behind them. Down now sits at full 3-2 after being up 3-0 with Bierman. Bierman today the first baseman for Cotuit. 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball that gets past Braden Como over at second. Now will be the first hit of the day and the first batter of the day for the Cotuit Kettleers. Michael Tolia. Now up. And on first, nobody out as the leadoff man got on. You're joining us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
The switch hitter out of UCLA gives Hyannis a good reason to be a little bit afraid. He's on an 8-for-21 tear right now.
Don looking over at first. Bierman taking a small lead. First pitch of the bat is in for a ball just outside.
I mean, generally on the season, Tully is batting .203, 59 at bats. He's only got 12 hits, but has really come alive recently in the last 5 games, to be exact.
1-0 pitch into Tolia. Is a foul ball. Goes right into the Osprey nest, as they call it, here at McKeon Park, beyond left field. A lot of people sit up there, but there's a lot of people that sit in lawn chairs just below it. 1-1 pitch. That is in for a strike.
Apologies for the technical difficulties there. You get a look inside our broadcast booth. The wind really blowing everything every which way today. It's a very, very windy day.
1-2 pitch. In the same exact spot, but this time called a ball. Hyannis sits at 2-2. Bierman still over at first. Nobody out on the top of the first. You're just joining us.
Two of the bigger hitters in the Cotuit lineup coming right back to lead things off. So McDonald has to tread a bit lightly here.
2-2 pitch in Italia. Is a swing and a miss for a strike on a check swing, but they call it a strike. Quickly one out here in the top of the first.
John leads with the call. Yes, he did behind home plate. Mike Rabideau's up the first base line, and Bill Fisher is umpiring currently at second base, but you'll see him sliding over to third a little bit too today.
Thomas Dillard. Now had a big day the last time the Harbor Hawks and the Kettleers met. Men still over at first and Bierman. The third man in the order for Cotuit and Thomas Dillard. First pitch is in. That is a foul ball. Land just over to the left of us past the Harbor Hawks dugout. They're on the third base side. Cotuit's on the first base side. Bierman still over at first, taking a small lead. Pedro Page is holding him on. McDonald throws back to first, and he is safe there. Bierman shading over like he was going to go and had to quickly come back.
Nifty move right there from the righty McDonald. Not bad for a righty. I mean, it's like that sidearm little slot he has just makes it a bit easier for him to flick across his body over to first base.
Bierman still over at first, now taking a very minimal lead. Pitch is in for a strike to Dillard. Now down 0-2.
Dillard's been a pretty solid hitter for these Kettleers all season long. A 257 batting average and 70 at-bats.
0-2 pitch. That's a throwback over to first with Pedro Pages. Didn't even think about making a tag. Bierman didn't even have to slide.
No, but another quick move. McDonald has very good footwork on the mound. He's able to get off the rubber quickly and make that turn. And it can definitely catch people sleeping.
McDonald looking over. 0-2 pitch into Dillard. That's a ball in the dirt, but a good stop by Kyle Wilkie, not letting it get past him. Bierman still over at first. It's a very cloudy day here in Hyannis. The sun's starting to come out a little. Still pretty humid here today. 1-2 pitch. That's another pitch in the dirt. Count now sits at even at 2-2.
Definitely humid, Rob, but not all that hot for a game that's coming in early July. And we've seen some really hot temperatures early on in the Cape League season. So definitely a nice change of pace to have a cooler evening tonight, albeit windy.
2-2 pitch. That is strike three called. Got him looking. Now 2 outs. Thomas Dillard taking his head as he goes back to the dugout. Good pitch there by McDonald. And great way to frame it if you're Wilkie. 2 gone here. Now up Peyton Burdick. Number 12 for the Cotuit Kettleers. First pitch of that at bat is in for a strike right down the heart of the plate. Sweeping off speed pitch. McDonald's done a pretty good job besides that first man getting ahead of batters.
And he was still able to give Bierman a good run for his money with that at bat as well. So McDonald's been getting a lot of work in with Coach Korn, and it's been showing.
One pitch has to throw back, but he'll be safe. McDonald paying attention very closely to Bierman, as he's a quick guy in that leadoff spot. Explains the reason why he's there. McDonald just quickly looks over before he throws. And the pitch is in. That is a ground ball. That is foul. That will land right near Cotuit's bullpen. Just down the right field line.
Burdick just missing the chance to face off directly against his Wright State teammate in Seth Gray, who gets the night off, at least as of now. But a 200 batting average on the season, 60 at-bats, 12 hits. He's not quite hitting like his counterpart Seth, who's been lighting it up for Hyannis early on in this campaign.
Trying to get the third out of the inning is McDonald. And the pitch is in. That is a infield fly ball that will appear to be caught by Como, but Holland waves him off. The Harbor Hawks don't let up any runs in the first inning. Still tied at 0-0. The Harbor Hawks will have their first at-bats of the day in the bottom of the first. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back in Hyannis, Davis Wenzel. To lead it off today for the Harbor Hawks on the mound is Keegan Gillis. That first pitch is in for a strike. Quickly down 0-1 in the count. Is Wenzel. 0-1 pitch. That's a pitch in the dirt. Now sits at even 1-1.
Yeah, and Keegan Gillis coming off of an impressive season for Tulane. This is his Cape League debut tonight.
That is a ball just outside. Now at 2-1.
80 1/3 innings pitched for the Green Wave, a 3.36 ERA, a 6-6 record.
That 2-1 pitch is fouled off. Count now sits at even.
Robert, he almost doubled up his walks to strikes, his strikeouts to walks this year. 57 strikeouts and 31 walks.
Oh, pitch. That is a laser out to left field, but it will continue to stay foul, not even close. Near the foul line. Count still stays at 2-2.
Hey, in Orleans, that's a home run. Don't want to get too political about that,
right.
but we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Absolutely.
Little Cape League inside joke for those of us who have paid attention.
2-2 pitch. That's a ball in the dirt. Count sits at full 3-2. Wenzel trying to get on for the first time today as he's the first batter for the Harbor Hawks today. Playing at third base. That is a bomb out to left field. Goes on to catch it. Is Peyton Burdick for the first out. Wenzel off the bat. Looked like that was going to be really gone, but the wind brought it back down.
No, yeah, Davis just missing one. I mean, on a clear day, that is a no doubt dinger. But, I mean, He's batting 247 on the year. He's been getting a good amount of buzz, and you really can't fault the guy for making hard contact and getting it out because that's a productive at bat. He worked the count pretty well and found his pitch.
Braden Como. Now that first pitch is a ball in the dirt. Taking around the infield for Cotuit. Playing over at first is Zach Bierman. Over at second base is Corey Wood. Over at shortstop is Adam Oviedo. That 1-0 pitch is in for a strike. Over at left field is Peyton Burdick. On right field is Michael Tolia. And out in center field is Duke Ellis. And the catch is Zach Humphreys. That ball was in the dirt. Count now at 2-1. The second man in the order for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the first. Like I said, this is game 25 on the 2018 season. Already halfway through. That 0 pitch is a nasty off-speed pitch in for a strike. Really froze Como. Count now sits at even 2-2. That next pitch goes foul, almost hits first base coach Bobby Melly.
Quick feet to get out of the way there. Braden Como also batting .333 and 75 at bats this year. Third on the team in batting average.
2-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the third baseman. He has it, takes his time, throws over to first for the second out. Ryan Reynolds on the play. And 2 quick outs in the bottom of the first. For now, up the third man in the order, Matthew Barefoot.
I wonder if Ryan Reynolds is excited to see Deadpool this summer.
He could be.
I mean, the name play there obviously is obvious. They're not related, but wonder if he gets anything about that.
Pitch in from Gillis is a ball just low. Now sits at 1-0. Sun's starting to peel out from the clouds here today as it was a pretty cloudy day. That pitch is in for a ball as Barefoot check swung, but the first base umpire said he didn't swing. Down at 2-0. Pitches for a ball now at 3-0. Barefoot trying to get a 3-out or trying to get a 2-out walk, really trying to get something going. As Trevor Hover is in the leadoff circle.
Looking for his 13th walk of the season. Matt Barefoot.
3-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. Get me over fastball by Gillis. Down now at 3-1.
Take on all the way there, and Matt Barefoot has really been taking names out here. A .380 average, 27 hits to lead Hyannis.
3-1 pitch. That is in for a strike right around Matthew Barefoot's belt buckle. Down now sits at full 3-2. Harbor Hawks trying to get their first man on today as the first two guys have been taken out pretty silently. 3-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. He has to take his time to throw it, and he is safe. Taking his time there was Adam Oviedo. There, but Matthew Barefoot's speed makes him pay.
It all starts with 2 outs right there, and you have to tip your cap to Gillis there, too. Being able to drop in a breaking ball for a strike over the outer half is no easy task, especially for a righty, and he just does it twice there, almost as if it's nothing. That'll definitely catch the eye of a couple scouts. It's a good crowd of them on hand tonight.
Trevor Hover, Arizona State now up. Barefoot taking a small lead over at first. That first pitch is just inside for a ball. Humphreys had to get out of his regular catcher's position to catch it. Goes back over to first very lightly with Gillis. Had no chance to get Barefoot, just trying to keep him honest over there. Hover trying to get the second hit of this evening. That breaking pitch is just outside for a ball. Gillis having a hard time finding his control early here in first. Oh, pitch. That is a pitch in the dirt there. A good stop by Humphreys, not allowing anyone to advance. That now sits at 3-0 to Hover. And now Humphreys will meet on the mound with Gillis, trying to calm him down a little bit. In the on-deck circle after Hover is Pedro Pages. Harbor Hawks trying to get out to a early lead today. Rio pitch. That's in there. First strike right down the heart of the plate. Hover, of course, not swinging. Goes back over to first very lightly with Gillis. Throws it over to Bierman. Not even a tag applied. His barefoot was already sliding in. By the time the ball even got there. Oh, pitch. That is in for a high strike there. Looked like that was going to call ball 4. Hyannis sits at full 3-2. Barefoot could be going here. They're not even holding him on now. He can take as big as a lead as he wants. And a 3-2 pitch. That is ball 4. And a 2-out walk now has runners at first and second with Pedro Pages up.
Yeah, Matt Barefoot just, again, playing spark plug for the Harbor Hawks offensively. 2 quick outs to start this game, but then he reaches with an infield single, and that gets a little bit of energy into this team. So Trevor Hover comes up, just trying to hunt his pitch. He's able to work a long walk, and that gets Gillis. Maybe his mind is racing a little bit now, too, with Pedro Pages up, because he can drive the ball a good deal.
Here Ken Pedro Pages playing first base today for the Harbor Hawks. Trying to drive the first runners into the game. Gillis looked like he was going to get to this inning 1-2-3. First pitch of the bat is called an outside for a strike. Just catches the outside part of the plate middle.
Pages batting .229 on the season.
A 1 pitch. That is for a ball. Right about where the same last pitch was, but now on the inside part of the plate, but that's called a ball. Hyannis sits at 1-1. One pitch into Pages, trying to drive in a run. Curveball in for a ball. Right around the same spot. Hyannis sits at 2-1.
Pages comes into this game, 8 RBI, 16 hits in 70 at-bats.
2-1 pitch into Pages. Gillis in the set. Throws it in, swing and a miss. That outside off-speed pitch. Hyannis sits at 2-2. Harbor Hawks today are in their home white jerseys with the orange sleeves. Cotuit is in their maroon red jerseys with a little blue, and their pinstripe pants. That ball goes foul. Count still at 2-2. Runners both at first and second. 2 outs in the bottom of the first, 0-0. Here in Hyannis, Pedro Pages up. Count is at 2-2. Trying to get them out to an early lead. 2-2 pitch. That's ball in the dirt. Count sits at full 3-2. Now both runners will be going. And a ball in the gap might not only just score 1, it could score 2.
Will definitely score Matt Barefoot. I mean, he's so speedy. Get around the base paths in a hurry.
Down at full 3-2, 2 outs. Pitch in from Gillis. That is a fly ball. It's the center fielder, Duke Ellis. Sorry, to the right fielder. He's able to catch it for the 3rd out. The Harbor Hawks unable to do anything in the bottom of the first. It is still 0-0. Cotuit will be up in the top of the second. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Dude, the wind blew that thing like a good 5 yards to the right. I'm like, that was a fly ball to center field that landed in right field.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Wish they'd let us call this place the Mac.
Magic Works Media copyright.
They threw down.
Ryan Reynolds to lead things off in the top of the second. He's the third baseman today for Cotuit. And the first pitch in the top of the second is a ball outside. 1-0 is the count. One pitch is fouled off. It's right near our crowd mic, as you could really hear it.
We've had a couple situations like that this summer. I mean, there's one foul ball I remember that just doinked it right off its stand. Thankfully, you were producing that day and we're on top of it. But yeah. Murphy's Law.
1-1 pitch is fouled off again. Count now sits at 1-2. A lot of netting here at McKeon Park really keeps the fans safe.
Well, I mean, you need it. There's so many ballparks in both the professional ranks and also college summer leagues that are just a little bit dangerous for fans because the ball will just go flying.
1-2 pitch is fouled off by the end of the bat by Ryan Reynolds, number 10 of Cotuit. Count still at 1-2. Up next for Cotuit is Duke Ellis. And after that will be Corey Wood. 1-2 pitch. That is a ground ball to Davis Wenzel. He has it. He'll throw it on to first for the first out. Good play there by Wenzel on his backhand.
And the struggles continue for Ryan Reynolds right there. He came into this game batting only 174. 4 hits in now 24 at-bats. That average will take a little bit of a dip there, and Davis Wenzel showing his worth on the other side of the ball as well. He's actually gotten a good amount of buzz out here on the Cape, so just showing again why he's worth the hype.
Duke Ellis now up. Thought about bunting, but turns it back. Good move, as that was a ball. Then now sits at 1-0. The lights are on a little early today here in McKeon Park, as just after the first pitch, they came on that pitch outside for a ball. And that pitch is a swing and a miss. There by Ellis. Up after that is Corey Wood, and then after that is Zach Humphreys. And then the end up the 9 is Adam Oviedo, shortstop. Pitches in for a ball. McDonald did not like that one. Let's take a deep breath and step right back on the mound.
Ellis is batting .222 on the season, only 18 at-bats so far, though.
No pitch. That is a foul ball, goes right past us and into the parking lot. Just behind us here at McKeon Park. And the pitch is in to Ellis. That is a fly ball that will stay a foul ball. And curve back into the field of play with this very windy day here in Hyannis. As you can see the American flag. You can definitely see it on the screen. Howling pretty loud out there.
Blew over our camera earlier in this broadcast. Doesn't happen very often, by the way.
Oh, pitch. That's a foul ball. Goes to the same exact spot as last foul ball was right behind us. McDonald throwing a lot of pitches in the first and continue to throw a little in the second. He's been able to get outs, though. And now the pitch is in from McDonald. That is a check swing, and that will be called for a strike. And McDonald, for the third time today, has a strikeout.
Ellis not a fan of the call there. It's almost as if the pitch kind of ate him up, as that was actually pitch number 32 on the game for McDonald. So you're right, Rob. 2 innings of work have been pretty laborious for McDonald. Just kind of ate him up. He tried to get out of the way, and he just swung through.
Corey Wood now up. Second baseman for Cotuit. That first pitch is an outside for a ball. 2 quick outs in the top of the second. Trying to get his boys back in the dugout, getting them hit as they played last game. They got plenty of runs for their starter. That same pitch, just outside for a ball. Now sits at 2-0 to Corey Wood.
He's a Coastal Carolina product, batting .207 and 23 at-bats. 23 games, 58 at-bats.
2-0 pitch. That is in for a strike in the inside part of the plate. McDonald working very quick today. Trying to get in and out pretty quick. And now sits at 2-1. 2-1 pitch. That's foul ball right behind us. During our broadcast during here in Hyannis, I consider one of the best in the league. Chris, you were here last year, so this is your second year. And I must say, this is probably the nicest view we have.
Nicest view in the Cape, absolutely, from the broadcast booth here at McKeon Park. And that's the second time around, and I try to stay unbiased here, and I have to say, it's always number one in my heart.
Definitely is. That pitch is down the line, down the right field line, continuing to run to second, and he'll be standing up with a 2-out double. There was Corey Wood.
Well, I think Trevor Hoffer did a good job of getting to that ball over in the corner. Plenty of foul territory on both sides, but it opens up almost just a little bit more down around the 330 marker in right field, where that ball was hit, because the bullpen is a bit further down rather than over on the left field line where the bullpen is a little further up. So the ball will kick more towards you. But Trevor getting over there in plenty of time to make sure that Wood only stayed up at 2, because he was flying.
Zach Humphreys, now the eighth man in the order for Cotuit. Trying now to give himself a little run support for himself, give a little run support for Gellis, as he was in a jam in the first. But now there's a man in scoring position. Humphreys trying to drive him in. Pitches into Humphreys. That pitch is way outside there. Almost went to the backstop. Good stop there by Kyle Loki. Had to jump completely out of his catcher's position. Really moved to the other side of the batter's box to be able to get that ball. Pitch in from McDonald. That is a ball low just outside, but stopped by Kyle Wilkie. Clemson product. As his catcher's gear pretty much go well with the Harbor Hawks, but place the purple with the blue.
I think so. We've had some people say the purple and the blue kind of clash, but honestly, I think it's a good combination regardless with the white and the orange. That's all you can see, really, from behind here.
Very true. Oh, pitch. That is fouled back. Will land right back in the field to play. The ball boy for the Harbor Hawks. Able to go get that ball.
Dagnan, the bat boy, going out there to get it. Going in a full sprint, too. Natural first baseman, though, Dagnan, if you see him playing post-game.
Yes, we have. Absolutely.
Too fast to be playing
Goes
first.
around and goes the ball. He's throwing on the pitcher's mound a couple of times. Oh, pitch swing and a miss. First strike, 3. Darren McDonald able to get himself out of a little jam here in the second inning. The Harbor Hawks will be up, though, in the bottom of the second. Still 0-0 here in Hyannis. We'll be right back.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back, Todd Lott, to lead things off in the bottom of the second. 6th man in the order. The DH today, so he doesn't have to play the field. And the first pitch of the inning for Gillis is in high for a ball. Counts now at 1-0. 1-0 pitch is a pitch high, right around Lott's shoulder blades, but he's all right. Pitch on it was nowhere near him.
Good high pitch right there to get up near Todd.
2-0 pitch, a check swing in for a strike there. Inside pitch, right around his hands.
I mean, you talk about Todd Lott's size. It's one of the most projectable things really about him to the next level. 6'4", 220.
And he's very fast. Pitch in the same exact spot for a strike there. Throwing inside the Lott. See maybe if he's able to shrink his hands up a little bit and just throw it out to left field. He definitely has the power to do it. 2-2 pitch. That is just inside for a ball. Count sits at full 3-2. Lott trying to get a leadoff walk, trying to get the Harbor Hawks going in the bottom of the second. Gillis' pitch is in, and that is a fly ball out to the center fielder, Ellis. Here's he has it, and he does. For the first out. Will Holland now up the Auburn Tiger product. Trying to get the same magic as their football team does, trying to relate it to baseball, try to get his own magic.
Exactly, yeah, and he's been doing pretty solid for the Harbor Hawks early on. 273 batting average and 11 at-bats. Had a 2-for-4 night in his last game out there.
Pitches in for a strike. Well, Holland was on Team USA, decided to come back here to Hyannis, but he's a very good player and excellent defensively. That pitch is out into right field. And being able to get it in foul ground was Tolia for the second out.
The wind is already starting to play a factor here, Rob. You can see it. I mean, Tolia looked like he had a beat on that in fair territory and then had to creep out into foul territory and almost kind of catch the ball on the heel of his
He
glove.
completely blew away from him. He had to go a long way to be able to catch that. Now Kyle Wilkie's up, the 8th man in the order. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the second. That first pitch is in low for a ball.
Kyle's batting .263 on the season, 10 hits and 38 at bats.
That next pitch is fouled off right near the Cotuit side, right near their broadcasters. Both their names are Sam. Really nice guys, being able to talk to them before every single game.
Absolutely. Don't say anything about Magic and Auburn around one of the Sams, though. He goes to Alabama.
Oh, no. Okay. That's a big rivalry in the state of Alabama, as they've had a couple of losses in the past couple of years. But it didn't matter this year because Alabama won the national championship. But I don't want to say that anywhere near our silent reporter, Danielle Turger, as she goes to Georgia. Pitch is sent out to the right fielder, able to go on to catch it. Was Tolia, and the Harbor Hawks go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second after 2 innings. The score is still 0-0. 2 will be up in the top of the third. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back, Adam Oviedo. Lead things off in the top of the third, the 9th man in the order for the Cotuit Kettleers. Nick McDonald still on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. And the first pitch at the top of the third is in for a strike. This is my solo inning. Wenzel and Pages both playing in. Pitch goes foul. Looked at first like it was going to go fair and it was going to be great for Wenzel, but completely went foul. Pitches goes foul again. Goes way past ball boys over that netting and lands right in near some fans, but they're all right as ball wasn't coming in too fast. No pitch from McDonald. That's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Kyle Wilkie throwing over at first. Had to get off the bag was Pages, and that will be a strikeout for Oviedo to lead things off at the top of the third. McDonald's fifth strikeout on the day. And now Zach Bierman will be up. The last time he was up He got a leadoff single. They couldn't do much with it, though, in the top of the first. Here now with his second time up 1-1. That is in for a strike right down the heart of the plate. Down quickly in McDonald's favor, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Pitch is outside for a ball. Count at 1-1. Bierman with his beach blonde hair in the back. Plays first base, though, for Cotuit. That 0 pitch is in for a ball. Pitch into Bierman. That is a laser down the right field line. Hover over at right field. Quickly throws it in, though, to only keep it to a single. And now Bierman is 2 for 2 on the day. Michael Tolia is now up. He's the right fielder. The same exact spot where Trevor Harver had to be able to get that laser down the right field line there. Being able to keep it to a single, though. Bierman in the same spot he was in the first. Now just trying to move over. There is one out, though, in the top of the third. Pitch in from McDonald is right down the heart of the plate for a strike. The last time Tolia was up, he struck out. Part of the reason why Nick McDonald has 5 strikeouts on the day, as he holds one of them. Pitch in from McDonald is a laser out to right field. That was a towering fly ball that pushes foul. The wind having a major factor today. Is on a really hot summer night, that could have just stayed foul. Could have stayed fair. Hopefully the win today does play into the Harbor Hawks' favor. Bierman over at first, taking a small lead. Throws back over is McDonald, but didn't even have to slide with Bierman, and Page didn't even think about applying a tag. A very good crowd here today in Hyannis. Coming out on a mid-July night, as it is July 11th, around the middle point of the month. That pitch is in for a ball. Tomorrow marks about a month since we've been here on Cape Cod, as the season started on June 11th, or started on June 12th. And on June 12th, we'll be in Falmouth, somewhere we haven't been yet here in 2018. A couple of us were there, though, the second game of the season when it got rained out. And then when we were supposed to play again, it got rained out again. But we are playing a scheduled game in Falmouth tomorrow. Pending hopefully no rain. We'd like to play them as they came here, first game of the season, and they've also came here on June 22nd. So they've been here in Hyannis a couple times, so let's pay them a little favor and head to Falmouth. Pitches in, and that is a ball in the gap, but it will come back over to Harver. There's the wind, took that one, really helping Harver. Now 2 outs. Thomas Dillard now up. Thomas Dillard was in the home run hitting competition in Omaha, Nebraska. Got a chance to watch a little of a rerun the other day, as he definitely has a little power. Being used to being able to hit the metal bats, but here in Cape Cod, we hit with wood. 2 outs in the top of the third. Pages takes that right off the chest, but throws it over to McDonald for the third out. Still 0-0 here in Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks will be up, though, in the bottom of the third. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back, Tommy Drew, to lead things off for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the third. Once again, this is my solo inning. Chris will join me back still in the top of the fourth. And that pitch is just outside for a ball. Tommy Drew goes to California State, Santa Barbara in California. They have a couple good summer leagues out there. Beside kind of Cape Cod, one of the best summer, it is probably the best summer league in all of NCAA as it is affiliated. Playing with the NCAA rules. But they use wooden bats in this league. That's a ground ball to the first baseman, Bierman. Goes off his glove, throws it back over to Gillis, and he'll be safe. And that will be a leadoff runner for the Harbor Hawks to get things started. Now the top of the order, now the up will be Davis Wenzel. And there'll be a runner at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. Still no scoring here in Hyannis. Sun's still out. Time is 6:52. It takes about 3 innings per hour, 4 innings sometimes. That pitch is in. Drew goes from first. Applies the tag, and he'll be safe. Tommy Drew with a stolen base. Now there'll be a runner in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the third. Humphreys with a good throw there on the ground. Able to make that tag in time was Oviedo. But over at second, though, helping him is, if that got past him, Darrow went over his head because Oviedo was crouched in the ground. Would have been able to help him out. Bell's pitches inside, right on his hands for a strike. Curve right back in the zone. Tommy Drew over at second base the first time Wenzel was up. He flied out to the outfield. Right out to left field. And the pitch is in. That is a laser, gets past Oviedo. Tommy Drew coming home, but is held up by Chad Gassman. That'll be a hit for Davis Wenzel. And they'll now be runners at the corners with nobody out. 1 for 2 on the day is Wenzel. Brendan Como now. The last time he was out, he grounded out. The third baseman. The infield is already playing in for Cotuit. They're in dire strengths here on the road. First pitch into Como is called for a strike. Como bending his knees a little bit. Didn't like that one. Chad Gassman over there telling Tommy Drew what to do over at third. Second base umpire backs up right behind Adam Oviedo over at shortstop. Pitch is in high for a ball there. It's stopped by Humphreys. Didn't want to get that, let him past him. Here in the Harbor Hawks trying to get out to an early 1-0 lead here at home. Almost pitch. That is a pitch in the dirt. Gets past him. Gunnar is going to come home, and he is safe. It is 1-0. Early here on the road, Hyannis able to get on a 1-0 lead on a mistake by Zach Humphreys. Almost still up. Wenzel moves over to second. And that pitch is in, swing and a miss. Como at that high fastball, unable to catch up to it. Wenzel still over at second, another man in scoring position. Hyannis is up. 1-0. And that pitch is in, strike three called. Got him looking at that inside pitch. Como doesn't like that one. And that is the first strikeout of the day for Gills. Matthew Barefoot now up. The last time he was up, he got a single. For the first out. First pitch into Barefoot is a ball almost in the dirt. Humphreys, though, able to bring it back with his glove, but the home plate umpire did not fool for his trickery. That's ball. Thank you, everyone at home or in their car or anywhere for listening to the game tonight. We really all appreciate it. Big Chris and Lyle and styling reporter Danielle Terzer. Swing and a miss at that off-speed pitch in the dirt. I'm sure many of you listening at home, these could be your kids, aunt, uncle, really anything, or just a friend. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Pitch is in. That is foul. Also, thank you for listening to our Hawk Talk. Is we enjoy to do that after every single game. Here, the sun's starting to come down here in Hyannis, a little glare. Pretty much the sun's completely out in right field. That second pitch is in for a foul ball. Left field's completely shaded somewhere in the infield around the shortstop and third baseman is a little shaded. First and second baseman, they'll have to deal with the sun, so really pretty much the right side of the infield is sun field. That will be a infield fly ball over to the first baseman, Zach Bierman. He's able to catch it for the second out. And Matthew Barefoot is now 1 for 2 on the day. And now Trevor Hauver will be up, trying to drive Harbor Hawk in. Currently up 1-0 though in the bottom of the third.
The next batter, the right fielder from Arizona State, number 17, Trevor Hauver.
Here trying to widen their lead as they are up already 1-0 here at home. Currently 13-8-2 on the season. That's in a swing and a miss, goes foul back. Big event this Saturday is Pizza Fest here in downtown Hyannis. Got a chance to come out, you can. Starts at 12 o'clock, ends at 4. That's an infield fly ball that will go to the shortstop, Oviedo, and he has it, fights off the sun. The Harbor Hawks do get the score. It is 1-0 here. Two will be up in the top of the fourth. We will be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Peyton Burdick to lead things off in the top of the fourth. Chris Lucy joining me back here in the broadcast booth. Hope you enjoyed your running off, Chris.
Oh, don't worry, I did. Plenty of free stuff in the ballpark tonight.
Okay.
The smorgasbord, free popcorn, free gum. If you're listening to the broadcast, you got to get down here before it's all gone.
And the first pitch at the top of the fourth is in for a strike. Usually after the game, Chris, they usually have some free popcorn, but they're doing it throughout the game today, you're saying.
It's Kettle Corn. It's from a local place on Main Street.
Okay. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, Holland. He throws it on to first. A great play by Will Holland for the first out in the top of the fourth.
Free stuff aside, get a sec to catch my breath. Will Holland just making a breathtaking play right there over at short. He really has been impressive fielding either field or glove side, charging in. I mean, the arm strength he has just takes him a very long way and must be really impressive to some of the scouts that have been able to come out and see him so far.
Ryan Reynolds now up, as you mentioned, with Holland and Auburn Tiger. Pitches in. That is a laser out to right field. Trevor Harvard's really had a day for himself out there. Gets it back in, though. Seen a lot of action.
And that's a good thing for Trevor. I mean, it just gets to show that he's really been working on his outfielding. He really lauded a lot of praise on the outfielders coach at Arizona State for making that transition so easy for him. He played infield in high school, and in limited time at ASU, he was able to kind of get the outfield under his thumb, and now he's really just cruising to balls and taking great reads.
Duke Ellis now, the last time he was up, he struck out. Goes back to first, he'll be safe. Pedro Page is over there also getting plenty of action over at first. He's had a busy day. Him and Trevor Harvard really have faced most of the action. Throws back to first. They'll be safe as well.
Well, Nick McDonald's thankful that they've been able to kind of stop the bleeding for him, as he's had a couple of hard hit balls, but nothing that's played at a run for Cotuit yet.
Duke Ellis still up for Cotuit. Pitches a ball outside. Donald trying to get a good 4 innings of work here. There's no action to be seen in the bullpen anytime soon, so he's trying to go a little longer than he usually does. He usually lasts 3 or 4 innings, sometimes 5. That is a liner out to right field. And that'll be back-to-back hits as that caught past the first and second baseman. And Ellis now, after striking out in the second, redeems himself.
And who else was with a nice read towards the gap and a good throw in? Trevor Hopper, the right fielder. I mean, working hard, but working to great effect. That easily could have been a first to third little incident right there, but Hopper just cutting right in beautifully, getting it on maybe 1 or 2 hops out in the outfield and rifling in a throw to second.
Corey Wood now up. The last time he was up, he got a double, and who knows, Trevor Harver able to throw it back in, make sure he couldn't get a triple. Corey Wood, the second baseman today for the Kettleers of Cotuit. And the pitch is fouled back there. Hearing it through our crowd mic there. Came right at us. But the fence protects us, though, so we are perfectly fine. Never have to worry. Maybe if we were behind the home plate, I would have jumped back a little, but we're way up here in the broadcasting booth here. We're perfectly fine.
I didn't have that net. I need to bring my glove to the game.
Yes. And that pitch is right down the heart of the plate there. McDonald being able to fool Wood there. Wood got a piece of that. The score could have been 3-1. Completely in shade now is the left fielder, Matthew Barefoot. Tommy Jew a little in the shade, but Trevor Harver, Braden Como, and Pedro Pages and Kyle Wilkie in complete sunshine. Something we really haven't seen at all today. A little fear of rain today, but everything is fine now as you can see the sun being out. And here is the pitch. That is a pitch in the dirt inside. Good stop by Kyle Wilkie, though, not allowing anyone to advance. Next up for Cotuit is Zach Humphreys. Last time he was up, he struck out. A common theme today really is McDonald has 5 strikeouts on the day. Pitch in for Corey Wood. That is a fly ball out to the right fielder, Harver. He's able to go back, throws back to first for a double play. Catching Duke Ellis sleeping. Over at first there, doubles him off. Trevor Harver, about the 100th time we've said his name today, makes a great play. The Harbor Hawks, though, will be up in the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back into McKeon Park. I'm Lyle Goldstein here with your Around the League update. As here at McKeon Park, Hyannis leads the Cotuit Kettleers by a score of 1-0. Taking you back out to Stony Brook Field in Brewster, how about this? The Whitecaps sitting at last place by far in the Eastern Conference, up 5-0 over the Cape Cod Best Whitey Red Sox. 5-0. That's in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now taking you over to Doran Park in Bourne. That's still a 0-0 game between the Commodores and the Braves. That game currently in the bottom of the 3rd inning. An Eastern Division matchup out at Eldridge Park between the Orleans Firebirds sitting at 4th place in the East and the 3rd place Harwich Mariners. That game 1-0 in favor of Harwich. And finally out at Veterans Field in Chatham in the top of the 1st inning, just getting underway, the Gatemen and the Anglers knotted up at 0-0. We'll take a quick break and then bring you back right after this, back with Robert Marcello and Chris Lucy on the play-by-play here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Pedro Pages to lead off in the bottom of the 4th inning. Harbor Hawks are up, though, 1-0 against the Cotuit Kettleers. New pitcher on for Cotuit is Bryce Bonin.
He's making his Cape League debut right now. 1-0 record for the Arkansas Razorbacks this year out in the SEC.
And that pitch goes foul.
At 19 innings pitched, 4.26 ERA, 11 appearances. Struck out 16 as well in those 19 innings pitched, but walked 12 as well. So control, a little bit of a concern for him, but he's out on the Cape to work on something, right, Rob?
Absolutely. They're all out here for the same goal, pretty much.
Get better, get drafted, realize their dreams.
Absolutely.
As if the summer isn't enough of a dream for them anyway.
Absolutely.
I mean, just look at what we're looking at right now. Beautiful sun-drenched field.
The best league for summer ball, really, in the country, when you really think about it. Minus maybe a league in California. But when you really think about it, this is the best league. Pitches outside for a ball.
I mean, there are leagues out in California that do get some good talent, Rob, but most of those guys after a year west will come east.
Yep.
Everybody wants to be in Cape Cod.
Very true. And then also we have a couple of leagues in Massachusetts that are really good. That is swinging a miss there by Pedro Pages for strike 3. And the first batter he faces coming out of the bullpen is for a strikeout.
Make a good point there. I mean, Massachusetts, the American capital of summer baseball.
You would think because we don't have a lot of talent coming out of the state. Me growing up here, there's maybe a handful of guys you really think about that really made it big in Major League Baseball for Massachusetts. But this is where everybody comes in the summertime because you do not want to be here in the wintertime.
No, it's not. No, you do not. Well, there's one particular name out of Massachusetts.
That pitch is a ground ball to the third baseman there. Takes a bad hop, throws it over to first. And taking a screeching stop there and catching Reynolds right on the shoulder there, but he's all right. And we'll see what that is awarded. I'll be awarded a base hit. That blew up right on his chest there. Now Will Holland will be up. The last time he was up, he lined out.
I mean, getting back to what I was saying earlier, Rob, the only player ever to be drafted in both the NHL and the MLB came out of the state of Massachusetts.
Sure it is, as Massachusetts definitely is known for their hockey. That pitch is right off the catcher's gear, and Todd Lott is sliding into second.
Are you going to give me a guess on who it is? He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Baseball Hall of Fame or the Hockey
Yes,
Hall?
he is. Baseball Hall of Fame.
What teams did he play for?
Oh,
did he play
too
during?
easy.
Did he play during our lifetime?
Yes, he did. He played in the National League during our lifetime. National League for his entire
I
career.
should know
believe.
this. I grew up here. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. Oviedo makes a great stop. Throws over to first, but gets past Bierman. That's going to score a run. It is now 2-0 Hyannis. And now Kyle Wilkie will be up. I'm trying to think of the name, Chris.
He was a pitcher.
He was a pitcher.
He won the 1995 World Series.
He was on the Braves then.
Yes, he was.
Chris, I can't think of the name. You got to tell me.
No RBI for Will Holland on the base hit there. Throwing error got him over to second and scored Todd Lott. It was Tom Glavine.
Tom Glavine.
Yes,
I
it
cannot
was.
believe I missed that. Tom Glavine.
Drafted by the LA Kings.
That is a ground ball to the pitcher. He throws it on to first. Throws back to second, but he'll be safe. And the last man up in the order is Tommy Jew. And after that, we'll go right back to the top of the lineup to where Davis Wenzelis. I'm surprised I did not know that. I knew Tom Glavine. I knew that he lived in Massachusetts as well.
I believe he either almost went to or did go to Harvard. He almost went to Harvard.
Okay.
He went to the majors. He went to the minors out of high school.
Hockey is extremely popular here in Massachusetts. not only with the Boston Bruins, but also at the college level.
Absolutely. You have the Bean Pot tournament out in
Bean
Massachusetts.
Pot, yeah, absolutely, in Boston. Yeah,
And it's an
College,
interesting
yeah.
parallel. You bring it up now. The Bean Pot tournament is actually what the Patriot Cup Series is based off of.
Yeah. But it's only 2 teams, though. The Bean Pot in Boston is 4 teams with Boston College, Boston University, Northeastern, and Harvard. But in other sports, they played as well. And in baseball, I believe it might be – what team does BU doesn't have a baseball team. So instead, they put UMass Amherst into the conversation. That's in first strike. Fun fact, I have a buddy that plays for Northeastern. In a couple of years, last year he was in the Bean Pod and played UMass Amherst.
Fascinating stuff. But, I mean, the Cup Series really heating up here right now in front of us.
If he is. How old is it, Chris, would you say?
Oh, the Patriot Cup Series?
Yes.
It was started in 2004.
Okay.
First one was in 2004.
Okay.
The most recent Hyannis win was in 2015, where they actually pulled off both a regular season and a playoff season sweep of these very Kettleers.
And still over at second and Will Holland. He was swinging a miss there for strike 3 at that high fastball. But not until the Harbor Hawks add another run. It is 2-0, and after 4 innings, it is 2-0. Hyannis Cotuit will be up, though, in the top of the 5th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back to start things off in the top of the 5th. Zach Humphreys to lead things off in the 5th. Last time he was up was in the 2nd inning, and he struck out. Nick McDonald back out for his 5th inning of work, hopefully, as now they have some action out in the bullpen. That pitch goes foul, though, I'm assuming. That was a freaky play. There, it actually hit off of Kyle Wilkie's glove and one foul, as Humphreys did not get a piece of it.
Yeah, it bounced around a good deal behind home plate. You'd have imagined that it got fouled off, but it just kind of hit from Wilkie's glove to what looked like his shoulder to the shoulder of the home plate umpire.
As it appears, that's a ball. Humphreys still up. A strange starting here in the 5th inning. That's in first strike, though. The umpire calls that one. And the 1-0 pitch is flied out to the left fielder. Matthew Barefoot on for the first out. Here in the top of the 5th.
Next batter for Cavaliers. The shortstop from DC.
Adam Oviedo.
Adam Oviedo.
Now up one quick out in the top of the 5th. Trying to get something going here as they're now down 2 runs. Pitch is in, swing and a miss. There's Oviedo. And as I say, they really need to start scoring. They really do. Is they're 13-10-1 on the season, only 3 games above 500, while the Harbor Hawks are 14-8-2. That's in there for a strike. The wind picking up here in Hyannis. That is a foul tip ball that will go right off of Kyle Wilkie's shin pad and will bounce out. There's some fun fact about some of these bat boys. Some of these bat boys that do the games, I also caddy with at the Hyannisport Golf Club.
Oh, very neat.
I saw one of the guys the other day and I said, oh my, I work with him. They have a couple of young guys working for them. I really haven't gone over there much, but when I have, I've seen them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, hard to get away from some of these people that you spend so much time with just because you have to work a couple of similar jobs.
And the pitch is in, swing and a miss. Strike 3 on that foul tip. Okay, able to keep it, and the 6th strikeout of the day for McDonald.
Coastal Carolina, 45 Zach Bierman.
Zach Bierman, the top of the order. You got it going here. Really, Bierman has been really the only one. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Really been the only real trendsetter today for the Cavaliers, as we call it. Pitch is in, swing and a miss. Bierman.
Well, McDonald's probably not too much longer for this game, so he gets one last crack at Bierman here. That was his 74th pitch of the evening.
Oh, pitch. That is a ground ball that goes foul. Right past first base coach or Cotuit and right past Pedro Pages. The first base umpire and the third base umpire both wearing long sleeve jackets with the home plate umpire sticking it out here in kind of the cold, as we call it down here with the weather that we've been having lately.
We call that a Belichickian move out here in Massachusetts.
Yes, no matter the weather, Bill Belichick always has his cut-off sleeves, and occasionally puts a long sleeve under it, but definitely bearing the weather is. I'm sure these guys are used to the cold weather being down here or rivers in the south during the start of the baseball season. Oh, pitch. That is a rope down the right field line, but it will blow foul. That's the second time today that's happened to Bierman. As I said, he is 2 for 2 in the day.
And you mentioned Bierman and maybe some players not being so used to the cold. I mean, Zach's from West Bend, Wisconsin, so pretty chilly out there in the early spring. Yeah.
Much colder there than really it is here.
Oh, absolutely. Even in the summertime, which explains his short sleeves still.
Yeah. Definitely toughing it out. Usually when you come down here to play in Cape Cod, you don't think you're going to need any long sleeves. So that's why they provide the players with sweatshirts. That is a rope foul, lands right near the Cotuit bullpen, but they're all right.
Yeah, getting out of play just down the right field line into the kind of grass near the Harbor Hawks shed out there where they keep various things that they use to keep the outfield and infield in tip-top shape.
Down that right field line, a lot of things going on over there. You got the fans over there. You got the shed. You got the guys sitting around over there. Definitely have to keep an eye out down there. Unlike over down the left field side where you have the bushes to protect you.
Yeah, not too much chance for interaction between anyone in the Harbor Hawks bullpen or the Harbor Hawks fans, much to the chagrin of the guys in the bullpen, who I'm sure would love the company. They're always looking for something to do out there. Very zany group of guys in that Harbor Hawks bullpen.
One of the guys in the bullpen I was talking to was Gavin Hollowell. He's a starter, but that sits out there during the games, and he brings a chair out there for himself, and it's like a lounge chair, and he can put his foot up on it, and he doesn't allow anyone else in it to sit in the bullpen. I think it might be a little superstitious for him.
I see him
he
kick
says
back
he
now.
really likes it. Yeah, I could see him down there kicking it back down there. That is swing and a miss, strike 3. A great pitch there by Nick McDonald, a shutout. So far today through 5 innings, the Harbor Hawks though will be up in the bottom of the 5th as Chris Lucy will take over the play-by-play. Thank everyone for listening. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Back inside McKeon Park here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network alongside Robert Marcello. I'm Chris Lucy. Davis Wenzel due up to start things here for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-0. Hyannis leads over the Cotuit Kettleers. Pitch. Bryce Bonham deals a strike right down Broadway. 0-1 the count to the Baylor Bears. 1 for 2. Single and a flyout. He stands at the right side of the plate. Righty from Arkansas to the set. The Razorback kicks and fires. Another breaking ball, another strike. That one low and away. 0-2 now the count on Wenzel. Who has to fight to stay alive here in this count to start off the bottom of the 5th. The 0-2. Hacked on and clipped foul down the right field line. Gets out of play. Count stays 0-2. Davis, certainly one of the more productive players on this Harbor Hawks ball club. He's one of 5 Hyannis ball players who have more than 10 runs created on the season for those of our sabermetrics junkies out there. The 0-2. Hacked on and nicked foul behind home. That one actually scoots its way over to the on-deck circle where Braden Como picks it up. The Rice Owl on deck, still hunting for his first hit of the game. A bit of a shift on for Davis right now. Second base completely wide open. The second baseman actually playing over the middle as the 0-2 is way high and outside for ball 1. So there's 3 men on the left side of the infield now. The second baseman shaded just beyond the left side of the second base bag, the 1-2. Hacked on and clipped off Wenzel's back foot.
You don't usually see a lot of shifts in the Cape Cod Baseball League, but this one you definitely hence to because really, Wenzel really just kind of hits to the left side. He really doesn't slide the ball over to right field very much.
A pull hitter for sure. Zach Bierman all alone on the right side of the infield. The pitch. Ball 2. Low and inside. A little breaking pitch from Bonin. Almost flipping the inner part of the plate, but not getting any love from John Leeds behind home plate. Even count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing straight away. The 2-2. Hacked on and grounded right into the shift. Oviedo, the shortstop, fields glove side, throws across the diamond and gets Wenzel for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hyannis still out front 2-0.
from McKeon Park, Game 3 of the Patriot Cup Series.
Wenzel there with his speed almost getting there in time, but Oviedo being able to get over there just in time.
Oviedo with a nifty little play. Little Texas rivalry there, too, and another one starting up here from TCU getting the out from the man in Baylor, and now a Rice Owl with the right side of the plate. The pitch, called ball high in sight. Little fastball right there, and Bonin is down 1-0 in the count. As I mentioned, Braden still 0 for 2 today. 1-0. Hacked on and a slow nibbler over to third base. Reynolds fields, throws across the dime, bouncer over to first. Did they get him? Yes, they did. Braden Como grounds out 5-3, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
I was going to say, because Como was up a little Southwest Conference little matchup back in the day with Baylor, TCU, and Rice.
And oddly enough, Braden has switched teams a little bit. He actually started his collegiate career playing for TCU, and then after his freshman year, transferred to LSU Hyannis, and then settled back down in the state of Texas at Rice. And now Matt Barefoot from North Carolina, playing his ball at Campbell University, takes ball 1, low and inside. 1-0 now the count on Barefoot, leading hitter for Hyannis. 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out. Comes up with 2 men down and a 2-0 Harbor Hawks lead. The pitch, cut on and nicked foul, close to Chad Gasp in the third base coaching box. He ranges over to try and field the ball. Doesn't really give too much of an effort.
He's laughing over there. Having
Chad
fun with his players.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 0-1. Bouncer gets away from the catcher behind home plate, Humphreys. Tries to range out and get it as it bounces off the backstop, but really no need to. The bases are clear. Hyannis still out front 2-0 here in Game 3 of the Patriot Cup Series. Cotuit does lead the series overall 2-1, though. A 6-game adventure, more than halfway through now. Hyannis looking to pull up even here at McKeon Park. Pitch. Act on and missed for strike 2. So the count's even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matt Barefoot, again, with a heavy shift. He's another pull hitter from that right side. So the same shift we saw for Davis Wenzel with the second baseman over at short is in play for Barefoot as well as he fouls the 2-2 high and out of play down the right field line. Again, Zach Bierman, first baseman, being forced to play almost kind of at second base. You'd imagine Bonin is possibly playing to cover if anything goes on the ground over to him. Now the 2-2. Eyeing outside for ball 3. Gets away from Humphreys again. The catcher having to do a little bit of gymnastics behind home plate right now.
Luckily, there's no one on base, though, so no one can advance for him. He's got to be in big trouble for Humphreys.
Absolutely. His Kettleers are already down 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 away. The pitch. Ball 4. Take your base, Matt Barefoot. Barefoot reaches with 2 down once again. He also reached on a 2-out single at the bottom of the 1st inning. And Hyannis has a little something brewing with a 2 down and a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. And Trevor Hopper stepping up to the plate. Here's Arizona State Sun Devil, looking for his first hit of the day as well. He's 0 for 1, but didn't walk in the bottom of the 1st inning. Comes up with Barefoot on first, who's taking a 2-step lead off. The infield now playing straight away once again. He's at the left side of the plate. The righty Bonin to the set. The pitch. Hacked on and nicked foul behind home. That one gets off the catcher's gear of Humphreys. 0-1 the count on Hopper. Trevor with positive memories against this Kettleers ball club in his last effort against Cotuit. He actually went 3 for 4 and got his average above 300 for the first time this season. Still there now. Snap throw over to first. Matt Barefoot slides in head first. Held on by Zach Bierman. Doesn't apply a tag, just throws it back to Bonin on the mound. The righty from Arkansas, squaring up the lefty from Arizona State. Outfield, infield, straight away. 2-0 lead for Hyannis. 0-1. Bouncer gets away from Humphreys behind home plate. It just bounced right in front of home, squirted between his legs, and Barefoot advances over to second base. He gets in there standing up. 1-1 now the count on Hopper.
Both pitchers today for Cotuit really just kind of throwing very slowly over to first base. Unlike McDonald, where he just lasers it over there.
Sidewinder, likely done for Hyannis as there's a pitcher getting warmed up with 2 men down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But a nice effort from him today. The pitch,
Hacked on and grounded foul past Bobby Melly, the first base coach. It's out of play. So the count's 1-2 now. Auburn will have to fight to keep himself in this one. A runner in scoring position, so golden opportunity to pick up an RBI and extend a 2-0 Harbor Hawks lead. Trevor steps out, taking his time. He has 5 RBI on the season. Number 6 possibly taking a 2-step lead off of second base. 1-2 count on Harbor. On into the set. The pitch. Ball 2. High in sight on the fastball. Wind blowing out here at McKeon Park. The lights are turning on now. No sun left to be had over the field. Shade completely engulfing it, except at the front step of the Cotuit dugout on the first base line. Now the 2-2. Ball 3. Blowing away on a little off-speed offering. Loads the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Matt Barefoot got on second base by stealing the bag. Reached with a walk with 2 down. Payoff pitch. Cut on and sent high and foul down the left field line. Trevor Harbor defending the strike zone, defending the plate, and trying to extend a 2-0 Harbor Hawks edge here from McKeon Park. Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Firmly in hand for the Harbor Hawks right now, just trying to extend. Pitch. Hacked on and missed, strike 3. Trevor Harbor slams the bat down in disgust right in front of home plate, and that is how the bottom of the 5th inning will end. 1 man left on base. He reached on a walk, got all the way over to second, but Matt Barefoot will have to walk back to the Harbor Hawks dugout without having made a trip to home plate. We go to the top of the 6th inning now. Mike Tolia, Thomas Dillard, and Peyton Burdick 2 up for the Cotuit Kettleers, trying to chip away at a 2-0 deficit here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. When we return, do not go anywhere.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chad Gassman making a move. Out of the game comes Nick McDonald. And in Mike Machma out of Michigan State University. 1-1 on the year. 9.31 ERA in 9 2/3 innings pitched. Comes in having to defend a delicate 2-0 lead over the Cotuit Kettleers here in Game 3 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy. And Robert, it's been a good effort so far from the Harbor Hawks. They got a solid top half of this game from Nick McDonald, and now Mike Machma coming in to fill his place.
Sure did. Really just commanded his pitches really well. Got ahead of guys. Being able to get swing and miss stuff, and also being able to get a couple of jams.
Nick McDonald definitely doing a great job for the Harbor Hawks. Final line on the right-hander out of Florida International University. 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Robert, this was easily his best outing of the season.
Absolutely. Not a question.
Now Mike Machma steps in against Mike Tolia. The pitch. Ball 1. High and outside. The righty out of Michigan State. Squaring up the switch hitter. Playing right field today out of UCLA. Tolia is at the left side of the plate right now. 0 for 2 on today's contest. The pitch. Called a strike, high in sight. Delayed call from John Leeds behind home. Count even at a ball and a strike. Spartan taking on the Bruin. Infield, outfield, pretty much straight away. Middle infielders playing back on the outfield grass, though. The 1-1. Ball 2. Off-speed offering, missing low and away. Been a while since we've last seen Mike Machma, but important that he gets a little bit of work in. Got a 2-0 edge in his back pocket right now, so not all that much pressure. The 2-1. Hacked on the hands and sent just into right field for a base knock. Mike Tolia squares around second base, takes a long turn, but in comes Trevor Hauver, the right fielder, to hold him honest. Throws the ball into the second baseman, Braden Como. And there's one man aboard to start things off here at the top of the 6th inning. Thomas Dillard making his way up to the plate right now for Cotuit. Down 2-0 with a runner on first. Nobody down here in the top of the 6th inning. It's been a full 7 days since Mike Machma got on the mound. He pitched an inning and gave up a hit against YD as he throws over to first base. Pedro Pages covering, keeping Mike Tolia on. Just got his first knock of the day. Thomas Dillard in search of his first knock as well. He's over 2
on the day, yeah.
Stands at the left side of the plate. The righty Machma deals high and tight for ball 1.
A firework going off in the distance, but obviously you can't see it because it's not dark yet.
A little bit too light out to be throwing fireworks around.
It's a little too late, too.
4th of July
already
passes
passed
by a good deal.
7 days ago.
The pitch from Machma, hacked on and missed for strike 1. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Thomas Dillard, though, someone who's been a thorn in Harbor Hawks' sides for the last 2 seasons. 6 for 19 on against Hyannis this season, or excuse me, 4 for 11. He had a big day on June the 19th. So that's where I got the 6 for 19 from, as Machma threw over to first base, 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs in that contest. A Harbor Hawks loss. The pitch. Ball low and away. Count now 2 balls and a strike on Tommy Dillard. Dillard, a competitor in the College World Series Home Run Derby this year, has a couple of long balls, 2 of them against Hyannis on the campaign. Now the 2-1. Hacked on and crushed high in the air out towards right field. Trevor Hauver going back, looking up, leaps! And he robs the home run, it looks like, but he couldn't hold it down. It bounces off of his glove and gets out of McKeon Park for a 2-run, game-tying home run for Thomas Dillard with nobody down here in the top of the 6th inning.
Thomas Dillard there, just a thorn to the Harbor Hawks side. As you said last year, I know he had a big hit. And this year, he's had a couple of big hits here. The Harbor Hawks just can't get him out.
Trevor Hauver inches away from stealing that ball, maybe a second on his jump away from stealing that ball and keeping it from leaving the yard. But Thomas Dillard, his 3rd home run of the season against Hyannis, drives in. Mike Tolia steps on home plate himself, and this game is tied at 2. Nobody down in the 6th, and Peyton Burdick at the right side of the plate. Mike Machma having to recover. The righty kicks and fires. Ball 1, and it gets away from Kyle Wilkie. Nobody left on base, however, to draw him out from behind home. He lets it bounce over towards the Cotuit dugout. 2-2 the score. If you stepped away for just a moment, you missed a big moment. Peyton Burdick ahead in the count, 1-0. The pitch. High and outside, count now 2-0. Fastball missing the zone. Infield, outfield straight away. Wind now blowing in, which speaks to the power that Thomas Dillard has. Home run power going right out to right center field as the 2-0 is fisted high in the air out towards left center field. This one draws Barefoot and Jew in. Matt Barefoot, the left fielder, having to come in on the run and snare that one as it was just fluttering around high above McKeon Park.
Really not sure he was able to get that ball there. Barefoot had to screech in as Holland really didn't know where the ball was. Good heads-up play there for Matthew Barefoot.
Tommy Jew also very confused as to where it was, but the left fielder out of Campbell University with a great read on the ball and helps Mike Machma settle down after giving up a single and a home run to start the 6th inning, tying the game at 2. He has his first out, and Ryan Reynolds at the plate. Righty comes to the set, deals to the lefty. A pitch that's hacked on and clubbed foul down the first base side, just past the reach of Brady North, the Kettleers' first base coach. And it looks like that'll require a new bit of lumber for Ryan Reynolds, third baseman out of Texas. A little bit of a hollow sound on that pitch when he hit it, so probably cracked the bat. As he gets a new one, throws a bit of pine tar on it, gets some of the pine tar on his hands, and makes his way back to the batter's box. A windy, wild day here in Game 4 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Cotuit leads the series 2-1, and then just got themselves right back in this game as now Ryan Reynolds is back in the left-handed batter's box. Righty Mockma to the set. The 0-1 is hacked on and served foul behind home. 0-2 now the count.
It's now unfortunate now. Nick McDonald's not going to be able to get the win now.
No, he will not, but still 5 innings, no earned runs, and 7 strikeouts from him. He has a lot to be proud of today. Now his ball club has to pick it up. Mockman to the set. The 0-2 coming. Here goes. Ball 1. Off-speed offering, missing low and away.
Mockman here just has to settle down, obviously get that first out. Now has to be able to get the second out, get the third out, get his guys back in the dugout, getting ready to hit.
They'll need to hit their way out of a 2-2 tie. Now the 1-2. Cut on and flipped foul again behind home. Ryan Reynolds doing a good job working the count. And the Longhorn keeping it 1-2. So Reynolds, a little bit of a baseball kid to say the least. His father, Shane, played for the University of Texas and then in the majors as well. 1-2. This is inside, ball 2. Looked like he checked his swing, but he held up. Ryan Reynolds' dad, Shane, was an all-star in the year 2000. In 278 starts in the major leagues for the Houston Astros and several other ball clubs. Won 114 games, lost 96, 4.09 ERA. 1,000 strikeouts. The pitch, ball 2.
What an accomplishment anytime you can get above 1,000 strikeout. That means you played for a pretty long time.
He actually had about 1,400 strikeouts, just over that margin. So very accomplished major leaguer was Shane Reynolds. And now Mike Mockma gets set for the 2-2. Here comes. Hacked on and clipped high in the air out towards Matt barefoot and left, and it dinks right in front of him for a base hit. Reynolds cruises around first base, going in for 2, loses the helmet. The throw comes in, and Reynolds able to beat it out by several steps. The throw actually drawing Braden Como off of second base. So that is a 1-out double for Ryan Reynolds here in the top of the 6th inning. And Mike Mockma is reeling on the mound as Chad Gassman comes out for a word. In fact, that just might be the evening for Mockma. Chad Gassman points his left hand out towards the Harbor Hawks bullpen, and he's going to make a pitching change. So 1 inning, 2 pitching changes for Chad Gassman, and it's a completely different ball game from when Mike Mockma got in. He now exits the contest, a 2-2 tie after Mike Mockma pitches a third of an inning. Came in with a 2-0 Harbor Hawks edge, but that's the game of baseball. Wes Engel coming in for the Harbor Hawks, and we'll take a quick pause on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. But when we get back, Hyannis will try to claw their way back Back at it here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network after a third of an inning and 2 earned runs for Mike Mockma. Wes Engel steps into this ball game for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And again, a completely different contest. Earlier in this inning, a 2-0 lead for the Harbor Hawks, and now a 2-2 tie as the righty, or the lefty, excuse me, out of Texas State comes into the ball game. He'll face off against Duke Ellis to get things started. Runner on second base is Ryan Reynolds. That runner coming on the bill, of course, of Mike Mockma. 2 hits, 2 earned runs as of now. First pitch. Laid down a bunt, did Duke Ellis, but it's foul. The center fielder out of Texas. Down to the count 0-1. Another Longhorn teammate hitting right in front of him, actually standing right in front of him too, in Reynolds, who's standing over at second base. Held on by the shortstop, Holland. Wes Engels appeared in 6 games for the Harbor Hawks this year. Thrown 9 innings, 2 ERA. Comes to the set, kicks and deals. Pitch is hacked on and served high and foul down the left field line. Count 0-2 now on Ellis, who is a part of a UT Austin ball club this year that had one goal, as Ellis put it, bring baseball back. They hadn't been to the College World Series since 2014, and they made an appearance this year. As now Engel from Texas State comes to the set and deals the 0-2. Ball 1, high and outside. Runner on second base again, I mentioned, is Ryan Reynolds. Reached with a double with 1 out. That one coming after the fly out to Peyton Burdick and the 2-run home run from Thomas Dillard that knotted this game at 2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Engel to the set, looks back the runner in Reynolds, and now moves to the plate. Pitches cut on and just served high down the left field line right at Matt Barefoot. The left fielder gloves it, forehand side, throws back into the infield. Will Holland, the shortstop, picking up the relay throw. No movement from Ryan Reynolds, and there's 2 away as the man on second base holds up, and Hyannis tries to hold on to a 2-2 tie here at McKeon Park.
The wind really helping Engel there, being able to continue to push that ball out, because at first glance, looked it was going to get down. He's going to be able to score.
Corey Wood coming up to the plate now. He's at the left side against the lefty Engel. Corey playing his college ball at Coastal Carolina. Engel to the set, the first pitch. Ball 1 high and outside on the off-speed offering. First we've seen from Engel since July 4th, a 2-7 loss for the Harbor Hawks down here at McKeon Park on Independence Day. Engel pitched an inning, gave up 2 earned runs, so he's trying to bounce back from probably his rockiest outing of the season. He comes to the set, and the 1-0. Hacked on and missed for strike 1. Straight down the heart of the plate, maybe a little bit of bite to that ball. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Infielders playing towards the double play, but still no double play to be made. There's only 1 out, really, that has to be made, so it could be made at second or first, but most likely to first base. Engel coming to the set again. The pitch. Ball 2, inside and tight. Count even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Corey Woods 1 for 2 on the day. He had a double in his first at bat, but was stranded on second base in the top of the 2nd inning. 2-2 the tied score here from McKeon Park. Hyannis and Cotuit doing battle. The pitch. Ball 3 low and away. So now the count's all loaded up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wes Engel still a strike away from ending the top of the 6th inning. One that has been a tough one for the Harbor Hawks. They've surrendered a 2-run lead to get a 2-2 tie for the Kettleers. Now the pitch. Called strike 2. I was mistaken earlier. It was a 3-1 count. Now it's all loaded up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nice little breaking offering from Wes Engel, just settling over the inner half of the plate. His catcher, Kyle Wilkie, springing back into his crouch as Corey Wood touches the outer corners of the plate. The payoff pitch coming from Wes Engel. Runner on second base, 2 down. Hyannis trying to lead this inning in a 2-2 tie. The payoff pitch, hacked on and sent foul behind home. That one getting off the netting behind home plate. We'll do the payoff pitch again. Lights coming on here at McKeon Park. Wind blowing every which way. The flag out in right center field having a tough time deciding which way to bend amidst all that breeze. Beautiful sunset over left field as well. Just a picturesque day for baseball. Not so much on the scoreboard for the Harbor Hawks, but they're working on it. Runner on second base. Wes Engel to the set. The pitch. Ball 4. Home plate umpire actually calls time on that one. It looks like it might have gone off the edge of Corey Wood's bat. Still nothing definitive from John Leeds. Corey Wood still standing by home plate, though. Count still loaded up. Looks like John Leeds is going to rule, and does rule, as now Corey Wood steps back into the batter's box, that the ball hit off the nub of his bat.
Seems like a common theme. Seems like it happens a lot in this league. We've seen it a lot.
Now Wes Engel looking for a strikeout. Comes to the set. The payoff pitch. Here goes. Ball 4. So Corey Wood works his way to first base for free. 2 men down, 2 men on. 2-2 lead here, or 2-2 tie for the Harbor Hawks and Kettleers. Zach Humphreys coming to the plate now, another Texas guy. He plays his college ball at TCU. Another Horned Frog waiting on deck, and Adam Oviedo. Neither of the two Horned Frogs have a hit yet on the day. Humphreys and Oviedo both sporting 0 for 2 clips. As Wes Engel was able to get an out with his first at bat and came close to one on the second batter he's faced, but works a walk to Corey Wood. And now Humphreys coming up to the right side of the plate against the lefty. Bit of a sticky situation as Davis Wenzel moves over to the third base bag, has a word with Mike Roberts. Both guys experienced with big-time college baseball. Wenzel playing over in the Big 12, and Mike Roberts, more than a 15-year coach over for UNC in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Chad Gassman now out on the field again. Another righty, it looks like, warming up in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. It is a righty. And Chad takes the ball away from Wes Engel, and that righty will be coming into this ball game. 2-2 your score here in the top of the 6th inning. The third pitching change of this inning, believe it or not. Second break we'll be taking. Wes Engel pitches a third of an inning himself. Faces 2 batters, walks 1 man. We'll get you, that's pretty much his final line, but still a runner on first, a still runner on second. A 2-2 tie hanging in the balance. More on the new pitcher when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy. New pitcher and a pinch hitter due up now for The Cotuit Kettleers, the new pitcher for Hyannis, is Riley Self out of Mississippi State. And the man at home plate is Will Robertson out of Creighton. Righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. Zach Humphreys originally supposed to hit in this spot, but the righty coming in, and we have Mike Roberts playing a bit of chess, going with the lefty. The first pitch, hacked on and clubbed foul down the right field line. 0-1 now the count on Robertson. First plate appearance for Will on the day, batting .250, 84 at-bats on the Cape League season. Tied for the team lead for Cotuit, 21 hits. Comes up with runners on first and second in a 2-2 tie. Trying to break it wide open for his Cotuit ball club. 0-1. Ball one, low and away. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. Riley Self has pitched in 2 games for the Harbor Hawks. Worked an inning in a third. Has yet to allow an earned run. Has struck out 1. Comes in relief of Wes Engel. The pitch. Ball 2 in the dirt. 1-2 count, or 2-1 count, excuse me, on Will Robertson. Zach Humphreys' day ends with an 0 for 2. And Wes Engel's day ends after only 2 batters faced. Got 1 man to fly out and walked another. That walk stands on first base. The man on second is Ryan Reynolds. He comes on the bill of Mike Mockma, who started off this inning and only worked it out himself.
Definitely a short leash here trying to win this game, as now they have more action out there.
The pitch. Called a strike. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Will Robertson trying to keep his way in this at-bat, but Riley Self getting off to a good start here for the Harbor Hawks. Trying to maintain this 2-2 tie. The 2-2. Ball 3 in the dirt, gets away briefly from Kyle Wilkie, but the backstop from Clemson, quick to cover for himself, finds the ball just behind home plate, picks it up, and that keeps Ryan Reynolds standing pat over at second base.
Great job there by Kyle Wilkie, not being able to get those guys to come over.
Crucial, especially when you're defending a 2-2 tie in your rivalry series. And now Self comes to the set. 3 balls and 2 strike count, but he steps off the rubber. Not quite agreeing to the sign given by Kyle Wilkie. So now the Bulldog and the Tiger work on it again. The Mississippi State right-hander comes to the set and the payoff pitch. Runners both go, and it's grounded on the swing from Robertson. Right back over to Braden Como. The second baseman gloves it, fields over to Pedro Pages, firing to the first baseman for the third out of a marathon inning for the Harbor Hawks. 2 runs, 3 pitching changes, and a trio of hits and 1 walk. Plate 2 runs again for this Cotuit ball club, which knots the game at 2-2 as now we head into the bottom of the 6th inning, where Pedro Pages, Todd Lott, and Will Holland are due up, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for this Hyannis team when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. I'm Chris Lucy. He's Robert Marcello. A couple of defensive changes to report to you after Pedro Pages steps up and takes the first pitch from Bryce Bonnet. It's a strike over the outer half. The righty ahead of the righty at the plate, 0-1. New catcher in this game, it's Eric Jones. He replaces Zach Humphreys. The pitch. Ball one, just over the plate, a little bit too high, though. Bounces actually off the face mask of the new catcher, getting his wake-up call. The backstop out of Davidson in the game. And moving out to left field is the pinch hitter in Robertson. He will continue to bat in that 8 spot. And Peyton Burdick, who was in left field earlier, will come out for Eric Jones, who will take his place in the 4 spot. 0 for 3 day for Peyton Burdick, the Wright State product. Not having things really go his way at the plate as Pedro Pages looks at the 1-1 pitch. It's ball 2, low and inside. The Florida Atlantic product trying to find his way through a bit of a slump. He's 1 for 15 in his last couple of at-bats. As the 2-1 is ball 3, just nipping the top of his shoelaces. Infield, outfield playing straight away. A 2-2 tie here at McKeon Park. The pitch. Hacked on and grounded just right back at Reynolds. The third baseman catches it on a weird hop, throws across the diamond, and a big stretch from Zach Bierman gets Pedro Pages for out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning.
A great play over there by the third baseman, being able to get on his backhand there and being able to throw it there as Reynolds.
Reynolds just unable to really keep his balance there. Had to make an off-balance throw, but still an exceptional play. Todd Lott at the right side of the plate now against the righty Bonin. 1 man down in the 6th. The pitch. Hacked on and missed for strike 1. A nice little off-speed offering from the Arkansas Razorback. Jumps ahead in the count on one of Hyannis' hottest hitters and someone of note out here in the Cape. The 0-1. Ball 1, low and away. That one nipping the dirt over in the left-handed batter's box. And I mentioned Todd Lott, notable as he's 1 for 2 on the day. At the 1-1, he cuts it on and serves it out into center field for a base hit. Todd Lott cruises around first base. Relay throw in from Ellis, the center fielder. And I mentioned he's a notable guy because he actually got a write-up on MLB.com last night for just how he's been playing this year.
He sure has. He's a very talented player with a lot of power in as well. Being able to shoot that ball right back up the middle.
It was a tough pitch, too. Got it in on the hands, was able to roll the bat through it. And now Mike Roberts out of the dugout for the Cotuit Kettleers. And that will be curtains for Bryce Bonnet. The Arkansas Razorback getting a good bit of work in his Cape League debut through 2 1/3 innings. And now a new arm will come in for the Kettleers, trying to maintain this 2-2 tie here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more on the new pitcher that Mike Roberts has brought in when we get back to things here from McKeon Park.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
Welcome back inside McKeon Park. Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy. A new arm into this game for the Cotuit Kettleers after 2 1/3 innings of one-run ball from Bryce Bonin. Into this game, or Bryce Bonin, excuse me. Into this game, Joe Walsh, left-hander out of Boston College. He faces off against the right-handed hitting Will Holland, who's 1 for 2 to start things off in his evening. And the first pitch. High and outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. One man down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 tie between Hyannis and Cotuit. Game 4 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Anybody's game right now. As Walsh looks over at Todd Lott at first. Lott goes. Pitch is thrown, and it's hacked on and fouled off behind home. Will Holland trying to execute the hit and run there, just missing.
Lott there had an easy stolen bag there. If Holland there saw him there, unfortunately, obviously didn't because Coach Gassman told him to hit away, but oh, what a squandered opportunity there for the Harbor Hawks.
Todd Lott just getting a great jump off the ball. So the hit and run probably off now as Will Holland down 0-1 in the count. And the cards just kind of shown there for Hyannis as Joe Walsh actually throws back over to first base to check on Todd Lott, who scurries back in ahead of the throw. No tag applied by Zach Bierman. Infield at double play depth. Outfield playing a little bit in. And the pitch. Ball. High and outside. Evens the count at a ball and a strike. One man down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hyannis trying to claw their way back atop a 2-2 game. Joe Walsh throws back over to first base. Count remains 2-2. Todd Lott just being held on there. I mentioned the player development program for Major League Baseball stopped by the Cape this past weekend, and Todd Lott, someone who caught the eye of the beat writer that accompanied Major League Baseball as the 2-1 is cut on and popped up high down the right field line. This one chasing Tolia over towards foul territory. The right fielder makes the catch in spite of the wind for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Something that happened similar at Fenway Park, but on the left side, down the left field line, is the ball comes in and it just looks like it's going to go foul, and then it comes back into the field of play, and that really kind of happened there. Is the ball kind of came back into the field of play, almost fell down for a hit, had to move over.
Yeah, Tolia making a good read on the baseball there, despite what's been a very windy day. I mean, you've seen crowd mics, screens, and pens, pencils, and baseballs blowing all throughout McKeon Park. Now Joe Walsh squares up Kyle Wilkie with 2 down and a man on first here in the bottom of the 6th. Todd Lott goes and is caught in a pickle as Walsh throws over. Snap throw over to second base from the first baseman. Bierman, tag applied by Oviedo, and they get Todd Lott sliding into second base, right into that tag. And the designated hitter out of the University of Louisiana Lafayette is down for out number 3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Kyle Wilkie will get a reprise of that at bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, but not before the Kettleers send up the bottom and top of their order in the top half of the 7th. Adam Oviedo, Zach Bierman, and Mike Tolia due up when we get back here, trying to break a 2-2 tie on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucy.
7th inning getting underway here from McKeon Park. A 2-2 tie between Hyannis and Cotuit. I'm Chris Lucy. Adam Oviedo, 2 up, followed by Zach Bierman and Mike Tolia, bottom and top of the Cotuit Kettleers order, looking to face against Riley Self. 4th pitcher of the evening for the Harbor Hawks. Took 3 pitchers to get through the last inning for Hyannis, one that saw them relinquish the lead. As the righty kicks and deals, and it's a swinging strike 1 to Adam Oviedo. The shortstop out of TCU, 0 for 2 on the day. Trying to break this 2-2 stalemate. Infield playing straight away, outfield likewise. Lights in full effect here at McKeon Park. The 0-1. Ball 1 low and away. Riley Self missing, actually hitting the dirt in the opposite batter's box. Oviedo in that right batter's box. And now the 1-1 coming from Self. Here goes. Call it a strike. Emphatic call from John Leeds behind home plate. Cooler day out there, but John Leeds, the home plate umpire, still electing to wear those short sleeves, despite both of the other umpires wearing jackets. As the 1-2 is hacked on and missed for strike 3. We mentioned a little Belichickian reference to the home plate umpire and John Leeds, and a little bit of authority from Riley Self as well out there, making the Belichickian move, pulling the breaking ball over the outer half of the plate, drawing a swinging strikeout from Adam Oviedo. No fear from the man on the mound, certainly none from John Leeds behind home plate. And there's one away here in the top of the 7th inning. Zach Bierman at the plate. The righty Self to the set to deal to the lefty at the plate. First pitch is low and away for ball 1. Infield and outfield stay straight away as Mike Roberts, down in the third base coaching box, starts to look at a notebook that he brought out there. And the 1-0 is hacked on and missed for strike 1. Even count, 1-1. Bierman playing his college baseball down at Coastal Carolina. Another transfer over for Coastal Carolina, played at Polk State College, the 1-1. Hacked on, and the pitch is clubbed high in the air out towards left center field. This one chasing Barefoot and Jew to the wall, and Matt Barefoot, the left fielder, jumps into the hole and makes the grab for out number 2. So Zach Bierman is the second out of the top of the 7th inning. Still a 2-2 tie here from McKeon Park. And Mike Solia coming to the plate. That'll be an F7 in your scorebook if you're keeping track. Zach Bierman flying out to Matt Barefoot. Now Mike Solia looking for his second hit of the day. The first pitch. Ball 1 low and away. The switch hitting Tolia, standing at the left side of the plate against the righty out of Mississippi State, A couple of MSUs on this Harbor Hawks ball club. And the 1-0 is a called strike over the outer half of the plate. Careful what you wish for over there, Kat. One of the other Harbor Hawks interns has just put on a headset, and I've turned it on. And now she takes it off. So she was not liking that, as the 1-1 is cut on and served just foul down the right field line. That right field little knock right there giving Trevor Hoover a heart attack, almost as bad as I just got Kat, as she is about as red in the face as the Kettleers' maroon red away jerseys. We have a little fun over here. Come on. So it looks like Mike Tolia actually broke his bat on the foul ball hit down the right field line. So he'll need to get a new piece of lumber. He's just getting that out of the dugout right now. Taking a couple swings, getting some pine tar on it. And the switch hitter making his way back to the left-handed batter's box. 1-2's the count. Riley Self trying to see his way through a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 7th. He comes to the set and the pitch. Just missing inside for ball 2. Will Holland, the shortstop, now shaded up the middle in a little bit of defensive trickery from Ron Polk, Harbor Hawks defensive guru, throwing a little shift on himself. Davis Wenzel, the third baseman, playing more at short as the 2-2 is hacked on and missed for strike 3. Mike Tolia goes down swinging, chalk him up to 1 for 4 on the day with that strikeout. And now we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Kyle Wilkie, Tommy Jew, and Davis Wenzel, the bottom and top of the Harbor Hawks order, due up when we return here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, trying to break a 2-2 tie.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Chris Lucy.
Back at it from McKeon Park, I'm Chris Lucy. Kyle Wilkie, Tommy Jew, and Davis Wenzel. The bottom and top of the order for Hyannis, due up, trying to break a 2-2 tie here against the Cotuit Kettleers in Game 4 of the Barnstable Patriot Cup Series. Cal Wilkie 0 for 2 on the day. He's at the right side of the plate. The lefty Walsh kicks and deals. A pitch that's cut on and blooped just over the second baseman's head into right field for a base knock. Cal Wilkie squares his way around first base, starting off the bottom of the 7th with a single. If you're trying to break a 2-2 tie, certainly a good way to get things moving. Tommy Jew now coming up to the plate. Today's center fielder out of the UC Santa Barbara, with a good opportunity in his hands to move the runner in Wilkie over. Jew, a speedster and great at bunting as well. And he squares around for a bunt, and Walsh throws over to first base. Lefty out of Boston College with a nice move. He's out for his second inning of work. Came in relief of Bryce Bonin, earlier in this game. And the first pitch, Jew squares a bunt again, hacks at it, and fouls it off behind home. Quick play from Eric Jones behind the dish. Picks the ball back up, but it's ruled foul by John Leeds. Tommy Jew 1 for 2 on the day. Came around to score after hitting a single in the bottom of the 3rd. Actually stole home to do it. As now Jew squares around to bunt again. And he offers a bunt down at that pitch, and it's called foul by John Leeds, as it looks like it might have gone off of Jew's foot as he came down trying to drag it. Nice play either way by Jones. He sprung up right from behind home plate and threw straight on to second base and would have nabbed Kyle Wilkie by a good 2 steps. But regardless, John Leeds making the call behind home, and Wilkie retreating to first base where he steps off, has a 2-step lead. 2-strike count on Jew now, 0-2 the count, and the pitch hacked on and sent into the net down the third base line, foul. Count remaining 0-2. Tommy Jew had a nice off day, said he went for a golf excursion with his fellow outfielder, Matt Barefoot. Had no comment on what either of them shot. The 0-2. Cut on and roped right up the middle past the diving Wood, the second baseman. Stopping at second base, Cal Wilkie. Everyone advancing station to station on the single from Tommy Jew. 2 aboard and nobody down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Doesn't matter much what you can do with a 6-iron in your hands when you could do that with a baseball bat. Tommy Jew working a nice little bit of 2-strike hitting, sending the ball right up the middle. A little shallow play from the center fielder Ellis robbed him from maybe getting extra bases, or definitely kept Cal Wilkie from turning around second and going to third. But now Davis Wenzel up to the plate, 1 for 3 on the day. He's at the right side of the plate. Lefty Walsh to the set. Runners on first and second. Wilkie dancing off the second base bag and forces Walsh actually to pivot around and force him to retreat. Wilkie does. Second baseman Corey Wood holding him on. 2-2 tie here from McKeon Park. Davis Wenzel still looking to see his first pitch of this 4th at bat of the game. Again, working a hit in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Runners on first and second. Walsh to the set. The pitch. Wilkie goes on the throw. Wenzel offers bunt. And the ball just barely gets away from the catcher in Jones. Everybody advancing on the passed ball. And Davis Wenzel, without even making contact on the bunt, brings up both runners. And Hyannis is in business. A 2-2 tie hanging in the balance. And the Harbor Hawks have 2 runners in scoring position. They'll say that Kyle Wilkie is credited with a stolen base as Tommy Jew goes over to second on the pass ball. And Wenzel swinging away. The pitch high and outside, the 1-0. Now, ball 2. So Wenzel in a hitter's count. He can swing away as his heart desires, or he can maybe take a few more and try and load the bases. But either way, a golden offensive opportunity for the Harbor Hawks. Lights are on here at McKeon Park. Plenty of fans in the stands on hand for one heck of a Patriot Series game. The 2-0. Called strike 1. Breaking pitch from the lefty. Just nicks the outer half of the plate. A little bit of action in the Kettleers bullpen right now. A righty getting loose. Runners on second and third. Hyannis with a golden opportunity to break a 2-2 tie. The 2-0, or the 2-1, excuse me, hacked on and served foul down the right field line. That'll actually bring the count to 3 balls and 1 strike as the home plate umpire corrects all of us. Count actually remains 1-2. Point streak and the home plate umpire conflicted a little bit there, but we'll go by the home plate umpire's count. Walsh to the set. The 1-2. Hacked on and right up the middle, through for a base hit. Cal Wilkie coming in to score easily. Tommy Jew getting the hold sign from Gassman at third as Davis Wenzel makes a big turn around first base. No one covering that first base bag, though. And this tie broken. An RBI single from Davis Wenzel, his 2nd hit of the day, puts Hyannis out front 3-2. Still nobody down in the bottom of the 7th. 2 for 4 on the day for Davis Wenzel. Some clutch hitting to go along with that write-up he got on MLB.com last night. He and Todd Lott, both the players that were written up by the player development program that came by for Major League Baseball, making a tour of all the summer leagues as they work their way around. Also heading to USA Baseball, just getting metrics for different MLB scouts to use as they prepare for the upcoming draft. Braden Como at the right side of the plate now. Runners on the corners and the pitch. Called a strike. 0-1 the count on Braden. He's 0 for 3 today. Struck out swinging in the bottom of the 3rd. Outs by contact in the bottom of the 1st and 5th. 3-2 Hyannis. This game broken wide open by the RBI single by Davis Wenzel. Walsh to the set. The lefty deals to the righty. A pitch that's cut on and sliced foul down the first base line. 0-2 now the count on Braden Como. Still nobody down here in the top of the 7th inning. Braden rocking a bit of facial hair because he can. They have a strict no facial hair policy in the Rice baseball program. And the 0-2. But first, a check back over to first base. Davis Wenzel scurrying back in front of the throw. There's a new coach over at Rice, Matt Cavanaugh, taking over the program. But it's looking likely, at least to Como, that the no facial hair rule at Rice will stay, as all the infielders playing in on the grass. The 0-2. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Braden Como, the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning, his second strikeout of the game. He lost a 10-game hit streak in the previous contest and now is in danger of a hitless streak. Matt Barefoot now stepping out to the plate. He is on fire, as he always is, kind of. Worked a walk and a hit in this one. Made some good defensive plays as well. Stands in the right-handed batter's box. The lefty on the mound, and Walsh to the set. Runners on the corners. Snap throw back over to first. And Davis Wenzel sliding in head first in front of the ball. Tommy Jew stands on third. Last time he was over at the hot corner, he actually stole home. One of 3 runs to score for Hyannis today. 3-2 Harbor Hawks edge right now with a man down or 2 men down here in the bottom of the 7th as Matt Barefoot swings and sends one foul. 0-1 the count on the Campbell University outfielder. Another shift on for Barefoot, a notorious pull hitter. The entirety of the left side of the infield covered with infielders on the infield grass. Bierman, the only man on the right side of the infield right now. The pitch. Called strike 2. Breaking pitch. Catches the outer half of the plate. 0-2 now the count on Barefoot. So the second baseman again in wood. Just on the right side of the second base bag. No one playing over on the right side except Bierman, who holds on the runner. The pitch. The 0-2 missing low and away. 1-2 now the count. Trevor Hauver's on deck. He is 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Hyannis out front 3-2, but with runners on the corners and an opportunity to build on a lead as Joe Walsh snap throw back over to first base. Davis Wenzel dives in front of the tag. Bierman applying it and then throwing back over. The lefty Walsh out of Boston College now, laboring here. It's already thrown 20 pitches in just over an inning of work. And the 1-2. Ball 2, high and outside. Barefoot thinking about a swing, but holds up. Lights are on here at McKeon Park, and Hyannis trying to build on this 3-2 lead. Walsh to the set, the 2-2. Hacked on, and that one grounded past the diving second baseman playing over at short in Wood, and that one goes into the outfield. Tommy Jew in to score, and Hyannis takes a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning off of another RBI single, this one from Matt Barefoot. 4-2, the Harbor Hawks lead here. A 2-run edge for Hyannis as Trevor Hauver steps up to the left side of the plate. Now Chad Gassman comes out of the third base coaching box, peering over towards the Cotuit Kettleers dugout. He points over at the home plate umpire and then calls time. A pinch hitter is coming out of the Harbor Hawks dugout. That'll be Eric Rivera coming in to pinch hit for Trevor Hauver. This should cause a little bit of gymnastics with outfield positioning, although you could rightfully assume that Eric Rivera could slide into that right field spot that Trevor Hauver occupies in the outfield right now. So it's a straight 1 for 17 switch there as John Leeds says up to the Harbor Hawks scorers. So Trevor Hauver is out and Eric Rivera is in. Eric will play right field. And Mike Roberts is out of the Cavaliers dugout, and that's all she wrote for his left-hander in Joe Walsh. It's a 4-2 Hyannis edge, and a new pitcher coming in for the Kettleers in just a few moments. We'll be right back after a quick break to sum up Joe Walsh's day and get you all caught up on the man the Kettleers have coming out of the bullpen. More to come in just a few moments. Stick with us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back inside McKeon Park here on the Hyannis Arborhawks Digital Network. A new pitcher into this game for the Kettleers. He comes in relief of Joe Walsh, and it's a Cape local, actually, in Luke Chevalier. Don't let his name on the Kettleers roster and on Point Streak fool you. It says Sioux Falls, South Dakota because he goes to Northern State, but he actually intentionally had it that way, so no one made a big fuss over him coming to play in the Cape League. He went to East Sturgis Charter just between Cotuit and Hyannis. Actually grew up going to Kettleers camp. And he faced off against Eric Rivera. The first pitch he throws is cut on and sent high in the air out towards center field. And camping underneath it, Wood, he makes the catch, and there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Chevalier wanted to prove to people before everyone realized he's from Cotuit that he belonged in this league, and he's certainly done that. 3.52 ERA in 15 1/3 innings of work, 6 walks, 12 strikeouts, a 1-0 record. Family moved to Sioux Falls to accompany him as he started his college baseball career. Pedro Page is now up to the plate. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Hyannis out front 4-2 off of some timely hitting by the bottom of the order. The first pitch, called a strike. The righty on the mound, quickly ahead 0-1 of the righty at the plate in Pages. Pedro looking for his first hit of the day. He's 0 for 3. Runners on first and second, 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch, swung on and missed for strike 2. Breaking pitch from Chevalier brings the count to no balls and 2 strikes. Pedro Page is having to fight to stay in this one. He's in a 1 for 16 slump right now, just looking for anything to go his way. And something that could really play well for the Harbor Hawks right now. The pitch misses low and away for ball 1. It's a 1-2 count. Good eye from Pages. Runners on first and second. Infield playing double play depth, looking for that force out to second or wherever they can get the easiest play. Also a force out to third if they so choose. 1-2 the count. Chevalier just into this game in relief of Joe Walsh. The pitch, hacked on and crushed out to left field. That one dunks in front of the left fielder Robertson. Coming around to score, Davis Wenzel. The throw's in time, the slide, the tag not applied. Davis Wenzel slides in safe, and it is a 5-2 Harbor Hawks edge off the RBI single from Pedro Pages, breaking a 1 for 16 slump. And what a way to do it, putting his ball club out front, 3 runs with 2 outs and 2 strikes on him here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Just the knock Pedro Pages was looking for. And you can't help but root for the guy. He's just very easy to work with. He goes out there and just plays every day for the Harbor Hawks. Really no lip service, nothing. As Todd Lott steps up to the plate, 2 men down, 2 men on. Hyannis out front, 5-2. The pitch, hacked on and crushed foul. Ball gets out of play down the right field line, but Todd Lott almost looking at home run number 6. Another Tater would jump him into sole active possession of the Cape League home run lead. Also put Hyannis out front 8-2 and really break this thing open. The pitch, called a strike. 0-2 now the count on Todd Lott. Fastball high and outside. Chevalier starting to bear down. already let up another run. It's not on his bill. It's on Joe Walsh's. Chalk him up for 3 earned runs in an inning of work now. 4 hits and 2 runs. The pitch, hacked on and golfed high in the air out towards left field. This one chasing Robertson back to the wall. Looking up, he gets it on the track and makes the catch for out number 3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So it was an eventful one for the Harbor Hawks after getting a couple pitching changes forced against them in the previous frame, 3 to be exact. The Harbor Hawks forced Mike Roberts to dip into his bullpen, and they jump back out front by 3 runs, 5-2. The lead for the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the 7th, going to the top of the 8th, where Thomas Dillard, Peyton Burdick, and Ryan Reynolds are due up, the 3, 4, 5 hitters for this Harbor Hawks ball club when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Back inside McKeon Park here. He's Robert Marcello. I'm Chris Lucy. Harbor Hawks lead 5-2. Thomas Dillard at the left side of the plate. Switch hitting catcher coming out against another SEC foe. And Riley Self deals him ball 1 low and away. We're off to a quick start here in the top of the 8th inning. Dillard, Peyton Burdick, and Ryan Reynolds, the 3, 4, 5 heart of the order, due up for the Kettleers. The 1-0. Hacked on and grounded right over to Pedro Pages at first. The first baseman keeps the ball himself, steps on the bag, and there's 1 away.
Good to be back, Chris. I missed a little as we took the lead 5-2.
Yep, the Harbor Hawks jumping out front, a 3-run inning in the previous frame on 4 hits, 2 men left on base, but the Harbor Hawks plating those 3 runs on some timely hitting from Davis Wenzel, Kyle Wilkie, and Tommy Jew for that matter. So 1 away here in the top of the 8th on the 3U put out from Thomas Dillard, courtesy of Pedro Pages. And Eric Jones now for his first ups. He came in as a defensive replacement for Peyton Burdick. He came in as a defensive replacement actually for Zach Humphreys, as the first pitch is fouled off, it looks like, or actually they haven't thrown him a pitch yet, as there's just a little confusion as Jones now steps into the right-handed batter's box, and the righty kicks and fires a pitch that's hacked on and missed for strike 1. A lot of wordplay there. 0-1 the count on Eric Jones. He came in as a defensive replacement for Zach Humphreys. Peyton Burdick was his spot in the lineup, but he had to be removed. The 0-1. Cut on and sent high in the air out towards right field. This tracks Eric Rivera in. He dives and he traps the ball, almost making the catch, bouncing right in front of him. And Jones reaches with a 1-out single here in the top of the 8th.
Self there, unfortunately, leaving that pitch really over the heart of the plate. Lucky didn't make him pay there. Just a little looper out there to right field, unable to get it was Rivera.
Eric giving it about as good of a chase as he could, and that's hit number 17 on the season for Eric Jones. Not bad for the Davidson College product. Batting .246 and 65 at-bats coming into that little confrontation. So Eric Jones, or Kyle Wilkie, excuse me, Eric Jones's counterpart behind the plate, goes out for a word with Self to talk a little bit of strategy before Ryan Reynolds comes up. The Longhorn has been crushing Harbor Hawks pitching today. He's 2 for 3 with a single and a double. working its way towards the cycle as the Harbor Hawks try and work their way towards a possible win here against the Kettleers. They have a 3-run edge right now, 5-2, with one man down in the top of the 8th inning. Reynolds is at the left side of the plate. Self, the righty, steps off the rubber, and now Chad Gassman steps out of the Harbor Hawks dugout. Pitching changes galore here for Hyannis. There is a man getting loose in the bullpen. Everyone's giving pats on the back to Self. And now Chad Gassman comes out, makes it official, takes the ball away from the righty out of Mississippi State. Having a word with everybody, actually, beforehand. It looked like the ball was taken from Self's hand directly. But it seems like this might just be a mound visit. Righty out in the bullpen, still getting loose. And now John Leeds comes out to the mound to see what's going on. But Chad Gassman was just buying his right-hander time. Out of the game comes Riley Self, and a new man coming into this ballgame when we get back. One away here in the top of the 8th inning, a man on first. More to come from McKeon Park after a quick break. Hyannis out front 5-2 on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Chad Gassman making plenty of moves today. He's gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitchers. Now going into his 6th in Ryan Pepio after a solid day of work from Riley Self. An inning and 2/3 pitched, only 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Ryan Pepio out to the mound now. He'll face Ryan Reynolds with a man down in the top of the 8th inning. Hyannis out front 5-2. The righty out of Butler coming up against Ryan Reynolds, standing at the left side of the plate. Runner on first, the pitch. Called a strike over the outer half. 0-1 the count.
Pepio's job really coming out of the bullpen is being able to throw strikes, being able to get outs, and be able to get these guys back in the dugout, hitting again, already up 3 runs.
He snaps one throw over to first base. Keeps the runner in Jones honest. He had a 1-out single to get over there. Still 5-3 Harbor Hawks. Pepio second on this team in strikeouts with 28. Second only to Houston Roth. The 0-1. Bouncer in the dirt. 1-1 now the count. So getting strikeouts the forte, Rob. You're right. 17 1/3 innings pitched. He's done just that. 4.15 ERA. A bit of a misnomer after some rough appearances to start the year. 2-0 record. Ryan Pepio has settled down, to say the least, was pitcher of the week in the Cape League earlier this season. As he sets the 1-1 and fires. Ball 2. High and outside on the fastball. A little bit of a heater. Trying to warm up a cool night here at McKeon Park. It's totally dark out now. The lights are on. And the Harbor Hawks offense certainly home. 5-2, the lead over the Kettleers here in the Western Division matchup, and more importantly, the Patriot Cup Series matchup. The 2-1. Ball 3, high and outside. Now, and actually coming a little bit over the plate, Pepio was throwing a bit of off-speed stuff that drifted inward. Still not drawing the swing from Reynolds, though. Again, Reynolds, a Texas Longhorn. UT breaking a considerable drought, at least by their standards, in the College World Series. Hadn't been there since 2014. Now the 3-1. Call it a strike. Right down Broadway. 3-2 the count. Ryan Pepio trying to get an out in his first batter faced here. Top of the 8th inning, runner on first. That runner, though, on the bill of Riley Self, who pitched an inning and 2/3 of brilliant baseball. Snap throw over to first, and Jones slides in headfirst underneath the tag of Pages. First baseman throws the ball back. Infielders playing up the middle, looking for the double play. Pedro Pages, the first baseman, holding on the runner in Jones. Davis Wenzel straight away at third. Outfielders straight away as well. Pepio to the set, and the payoff pitch. Hacked on and missed, strike 3. A little bit of a foul tip right there, but Kyle Wilkie holds on. Ryan Reynolds retired for out number 2.
Good speed there by Pepio, being able to throw right past the guy on a foul tip.
Duke Ellis, another Longhorn, up to the plate. Runners on only first base, excuse me. Hyannis out front 5-2. Ellis to the left side of the plate against the righty out of Butler. Trying to bring Hyannis to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the pitch. Called a strike. 0-1 the count on Ellis. Ellis is a new arrival to the Cape. Hasn't even played 10 games yet. Said he didn't really feel the pressure over at Texas, which is good because heaven knows there's a lot of pressure playing in the Patriot Cup series. Snap throw back over to first. Count remains 1-0, but Jones dives back in safely. Some players don't know about the rivalry until you really tell them about it, but this is about as big as it gets on the Cape. 2 teams, 1 sound, the pitch, hacked on and missed. It gets away from Kyle Wilkie as the count advances to 1-1 and advancing to first base, Jones.
The one thing I really like about this rivalry, Chris, is the intense attendance for these games. In Cotuit was a very hostile crowd. Here tonight in Hyannis is just as good, very loud.
Pass ball, the call on the pitch that got away from Wilkie. No steal right there for Jones, who gets over to second base on the pass ball. 5-2 lead for the Harbor Hawks, but a runner in scoring position makes this a different at-bat for Duke Ellis, who has an 0-2 count. And the pitch from Pepio. Ball 1, low and away. Off-speed offering, missing the zone. And the count advances to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ellis, a part of that Texas ball club that, quote-unquote, brought baseball back down in Austin. The 1-2. Ball 2. Heater missing high and away. 2-2 the count.
Usually when you think about the University of Texas, you think about their football team, but their baseball team, past 20 years, had a lot of success even before that.
Past 20 years, their baseball team has had more success than the Longhorns football program by a good margin. Thanks in large part to the work of a man the college baseball universe lost this year in Augie Garrido, someone who Duke Ellis certainly recognized around the program for a couple years, was always around, says Ellis. The 2-2. Hacked on and missed for strike 3. Pepio comes in, faces 2 batters, and retires both of them swinging and brings this game to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom of the order due up for the Harbor Hawks. That will be the shortstop out of Auburn in Will Holland, Kyle Wilkie, and Tommy Jew when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Do not go anywhere.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Rob Marcello and Chris Lucy.
Alongside Robert Marcello, I'm Chris Lucy. Luke Chevalier back in this ball game for the Kettleers after working 2/3 of an inning. Inning number 2 of work for him right now. Will Holland at the plate now. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Harbor Hawks. Holland, Wilkie, and Jew. Each of them have recorded hits on the day. Holland right now, 1 for 3. He's at the right side of the plate against the righty and Chevalier, and the first pitch. Ball 1, low and away. So Holland has had some time to catch up to the velocity out here on the Cape, which is a lot more than you'll deal with in your college season, as the 1-0 is hacked on and missed for strike 1. He's done certain things to kind of shorten up his swing, and one I noticed today, and he talked to me about a little bit, was the fact that he stopped picking up his front foot in his swing because it just wastes time, and you can't catch up to pitching that fast. The 1-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. A weak swing right there from Holland. And now the Auburn Tigers shortstop has to battle his way back from a pitcher's count. Chevalier coming to the set. The pitch. Ball 2, getting away from Jones behind home plate. Catcher needs a new pearl from the home plate umpire. John Leeds acquiesces, and the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's been an exhausting summer for Holland. I asked him what he did on his off day. He's got a big grin across his face, and he said, I slept in until noon. He's had to do a good deal of traveling.
Yes,
the 2-2. Called strike 3, and Will Holland is not happy at that call. Looks back in disgust. Backwards K sends him down for the first out in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's gone from Auburn to Cary, North Carolina for Team USA, and here to Hyannis. And he's off to a great start, but that's a pitch he'd like to have back.
He sure was. Definitely a lot of airfare miles for sure on that one. That's a long trip.
Get your frequent flyers going. Kyle Wilkie at the right side of the plate. Swings at the first pitch and golfs it foul down the first base line. 0-1 for the catcher out of Clemson. Had a single to lead things off in a very productive bottom of the 7th inning for Hyannis, where they stormed back to the lead as he swings and misses at the 0-1. 0-2 now the count on the catcher. He's 1 for 3 so far on the day. Chevalier to the set. Infield, outfield straight away. The 0-2. Cut on, sent high in the night sky down the right field line. This one chasing everyone back over to the wall. Zach Bierman watches that one jump just in front of him in the Kettleers bullpen out down the right field line, getting more towards the wall of the grounds rather than the wall of the outfield. Not quite a big enough ride from Wilkie to send that 1 yard. But 330 out to right field, so it's not impossible. We saw Thomas Dillard get out there earlier today. Hit a 2-run home run to knot this game up at 2-2, and that held for all of an inning and a half until Hyannis, again, exploding for 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th and jumping out 5-2. As the 0-2 is missed in the dirt for ball 1. Wilkie staying patient at the plate. Got pretty much all team colors on, those Clemson University cleats. Still the orange and white of the Harbor Hawks. The 1-2. Ball 2. In the dirt just around the inner half of the batter's box. Wilkie jumping out of the way, though. Even count. Lights are on. Plenty of fans on hand for a big-time matchup between 2 of the Cape's perennial powerhouses. The pitch. Hacked on and grounded down to third base. Reynolds fields forehand side. Throws across the diamond on the fly and gets Wilkie for the second out of the inning. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Hyannis still out front 5-2. And Tommy Jew stepping up to the plate for the Harbor Hawks. center fielder out of University of California, Santa Barbara. 2 for 3 on the day. And maybe he just needed an off day to kind of clear his mind. He said when he went out and went golfing with Matt Barefoot, baseball was the last thing they talked about as he swings and misses at the first pitch.
Not only do we need a day off, they definitely need it more than we do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you called plenty of games over at Dean College, Rob, but I mean, we didn't play in upwards of 60 like Tommy Jew,
not.
as the 0-1 misses low and away for ball one. And again, Tommy Jew coming into this game was batting 176. And right now, as he stands at the plate, he's just brought his average up a little bit as the 1-2 is swung on and missed for strike 2. Point streak still saying his average stands at 176, but he's 2 for 3 on the day. So it's advanced to something. I'm just not a mental math wizard as here comes a 2-strike pitch. Ball 2 in the dirt.
I think one of the toughest adjustments for this player, sorry, Chris, is to play every single day. A lot of these kids, though, have played in summer leagues before, so I'm sure they're used to it, but I'm sure a couple of these guys, really, it's a hard adjustment for them to have to play every single day.
And the 1-2 misses low and inside for ball 2. Even count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Rob, you make an excellent point. That is not only one of the tougher things for some of these guys, but it actually really helps the mental process for some ball players as well. The 2-2 got on and nibbled foul down the first base line, just dribbling past the Cotuit on deck circle.
Well, I think they have to think it this way. If they want to play at the next level, they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to play every single day, so might as well start now.
Absolutely. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Tommy Jew. Infield, outfield, straight away. 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the pitch. Nails Tommy Jew right on the hand, and he goes down. Tommy Jew up quickly, though. Chad Gassman and Davis Wenzel over to say hello quickly. Trainers coming out. And Robert, just building on that point you made earlier, as Tommy Jew gets a little bit of attention, but waves it off and walks down the first base line. The jump from college to the Cape is a very interesting one because ball players for their college seasons will play maybe 4 or 5 games a weekend, and they won't, and they'll just jam it all in on a weekend rather than playing throughout the week.
Yep.
Whereas on the Cape, you'll play a full 9 every day. Whereas in college, 7 and 7 on Saturday and Sunday, maybe Friday too. You could fit 6 games in. As now up to the plate comes Davis Wenzel. Takes a first pitch strike. Tommy Jew advancing over to first base on the hit by pitch. He's the only man on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 away. Davis Wenzel, 2 for 4 coming into this at bat. Chevalier to the set and the pitch. Cut on and rounded foul just behind home. The count's 0-2 on the Baylor Bear. Chevalier out of Northern State, out in Sioux Falls, North Dakota. Trying to see his kettle ears through without any further damage. It's 5-2 Harbor Hawks. The 0-2 hacked on and missed. Strike 3. The fastball gets away from Davis Wenzel, but the Harbor Hawks get into the top of the 9th inning with a familiar song coming over the loudspeakers here at McKeon Park. Hawaii 5-0 or Hawaii 2-7. That's Davis. That is Dylan Thomas coming out of the Harbor Hawks bullpen to slam the door on what could be a 5-2 Harbor Hawks win. When we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, do not go anywhere.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
to Chad Gassman making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
It took 5 pitchers for Chad Gassman to get his way all the way to Dylan Thomas here for the top of the 9th inning, but he gets the ball to Thomas with a 5-2 lead in so. I'm Chris Lucy, Robert Marcello, my color partner, bringing you what could be the last inning of a win for the Harbor Hawks here at McKeon Park. 2 up for the Kettleers in Game 4 of the Patriot Cup Series. Corey Wood, Zach Humphreys, Will Robertson, and Adam Oviedo, as the first pitch from Thomas is a called strike over the outer half of the plate. And Hyannis' back-end man out on the mound. The 0-1. Hacked on and missed for strike 2. Breaking offering. Count now 0-2. Dylan Thomas 3-0 on the season. 12 1/3 innings pitched. 17 strikeouts. He has been lethal, Rob.
Sure has. Commands his pitches really well.
Now here's the 0-2. Called strike 3. There it is. Little off-speed offering from Dylan Thomas. Freezes up Corey Wood for the first out of the 9th. Hyannis sitting pretty with a 3-run edge here in what could be the final frame for the Kettleers. Will Robertson up to the plate now for the Kettleers. One away in the top of the 9th. Dylan Thomas to the set and the pitch. Cut on, clubbed foul into the Kettleers dugout. Everybody seems all right.
A couple guys had to jump out of the way in there. It was pretty funny. I could hear some chuckling out of my headset here. I was surprised I was able to hear that all the way over here.
The 0-1. Bouncer gets away from Kyle Wilkie, but no harm, no foul. Nobody on, one away here. Top of the 9th inning, Hyannis looking to tie the Patriot Cup Series at 2 games apiece here from McKeon Park. Dylan Thomas, team leader in saves with 4 and a 1.46 ERA on the hill to shut the door on the Kettleers. The 0-1. Ball 2 actually in the dirt. Count 2-1 on Will Robertson. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out in his first at-bat. Came in as a pinch hitter in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch. Called a strike. Breaking ball just dipping right over the heart of the plate, but catching the black on the outside corner. The righty Thomas ahead of the lefty in Robertson. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count actually. The pitch. Cut on, and that one roasted foul down the right field line. Count remains 2-2.
I must say, Thomas does a really good job of just painting the corners, really getting guys off balance with that off-speed pitch.
And now Dylan Thomas coming to the set again. And the 2-2. Ball 3 in the dirt. Count loaded up, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Robert, this game becomes an important one for the Harbor Hawks as things continue to fall apart down at Veterans Field in Chatham. The Wareham Gatemen out front 9-2 over the A's. And if Hyannis can't pull this one away, Wareham pulls away in first place in the Western Division. Dylan Thomas to the set. The payoff pitch. Cut on and nibbled foul behind home. Robertson staying alive here with 1 man down in the top of the 9th inning. His team trying to chip away at a 3-run deficit. Harbor Hawks trying to slam the door. Dylan Thomas, usually the man to do it. The payoff pitch again. Cut on, sent high in the air out towards center field. This one chases Tommy Jew towards the right center field gap, but the center fielder closes his glove after only a couple steps. He gets the ball for out number 2 here in the top of the 9th inning. So 1 more out stands between the Harbor Hawks and their 3rd consecutive win and their 2nd win in the 2018 Patriot Cup Series. The Kettleers right now hold a 2-1 edge. Brady Smith now up to pinch hit for the Kettleers to try and inject a little bit of life into the Cotuit bottom line as the first pitch from Dylan Thomas is a swing and strike on the Florida product. He's batting .417 in 12 at-bats. Only played 5 games so far, 5 hits. And the 0-1. Cut on and grounded right over to Will Holland. It short hops the shortstop. He throws on the hop over to first, and beating it out is the Florida Gator, and there's a man aboard with 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. Nifty bit of running right there from Brady Smith.
Pagers just unable to keep his foot on the bag there to be able to get him out and end this game. Slightly off the bag. The umpire was staring right at his leg. Sorry. He's safe.
Down the first base line, Mike Rabideau making the call. And now some new life for these Cotuit Cavaliers. Mike Roberts pushing the right button there. Zach Bierman at the left side of the plate now against the righty Thomas. The reliever from Hawaii to the set. The first pitch. Check swing. Ball low and away. Did they go? No call from the first base umpire Rabideau. So the count 1-0 on Bierman. He's 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. And Thomas coming to the set again. The 1-0. Cut on and blipped foul behind home. Count now a ball and a strike. So after a windy day here at McKeon Park, the flag in right center field hanging limp now.
Not much wind now. Yeah.
Absolutely no wind. So nothing really to take a fly ball for a ride. As Thomas comes to the set, the 1-1. Cut on and golfed foul down the right field line. That one was a little scary, but got foul in a hurry and brings Dylan Thomas to a strike away from the Harbor Hawks' third straight win. Win number 2 in the Patriot Cup Series. It could even this series at 2 games apiece. And Thomas comes to the set. Runner on first. 2 down. The pitch. Cut on and sent high in the air out towards right field again. And it's sending foul. And there it goes. Way foul out towards the Cavaliers bullpen. A couple of scary drives right there for Dylan Thomas. Almost taking my breath away with those. You can imagine what it's doing to the righty out there for the Harbor Hawks. Trying to hold on to a 5-2 lead. The 1-2 pitch. Bouncer for ball 2. Dylan Thomas still a strike away. Infield, outfield, playing straight away. Anything on the ground, anything in the air, really of no consequence as long as it doesn't leave the yard. Or bring Smith anywhere into scoring position. He stands on first base, got an infield single with 2 outs. And now the pitch. Ball 3. That one in the dirt. And now it's a loaded count on Zach Bierman. Coastal Carolina infielder trying to keep his Cavaliers alive with 2 down here in the top of the 9th inning. Last licks for his ball club unless they can scrape together 3 runs. The Western Division lead hanging in the balance. Wareham with a big edge out in Chatham. The payoff pitch. Runner goes. Hacked on and missed. Strike 3. Zach Bierman comes down the first base line off the drop from Wilkie. He throws down the first base line. And the Patriot Cup Series is tied at 2 games apiece. 5-2 your final score here from Hyannis. And on comes the familiar tune, the victory tune for the Harbor Hawks. Rock and roll band by Boston. And Rob, the Harbor Hawks offense, for lack of a better term, was really rocking and rolling today. 5 runs against the Cotuit Ball Club that had given the Harbor Hawks problems early on this year. They had a 2-1 edge in the Patriot Cup Series, and today they take a 2-2 tie to the Harbor Hawks. I mean, what really stood out to you about this effort?
I just really think they sat back on their pitches. They didn't leave a lot of guys on. They did a really good job of driving guys in.
Absolutely, and hardly anybody doing a better job at setting the table for Hyannis than Davis Wenzel in the leadoff spot. A 2-for-5 day from the third baseman out of Baylor. He's been patient this year, came into this game with around a 250 clip. That won't really change much with a 2-for-5 outing, but Rob, you have to hand it to Davis. Despite the fact that he might not wow you with his numbers, he really is a crucial part to this ball club's success.
He sure is, not only offensively, but defensively. He's very good. Both sides, really, of the plate, really. He just does a really good job. He definitely could be a good prospect if someone's looking at down the road.
Well, the player development program at Major League Baseball taking note of Davis Wenzel, giving him a nice little write-up on MLB.com along with Todd Lott, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. The Harbor Hawks picking up some notoriety and picking up wins, 3 straight for Hyannis. The Patriot Cup Series knotted at 2 games apiece. Lyle Goldstein will be coming at you in just a few moments with the post-game coverage. I'll step aside here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. One more time, the final score before Lyle takes you around the league and really breaks this thing down. Hyannis 5, Cotuit 2, and the Patriot Cup Series knotted at 2 games apiece.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
We're back here at McKeon Park for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks postgame show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein, as Hyannis has knotted up the Patriot Cup Series at 2 apiece here in 2018. Final score here, 5-2 in favor of the Harbor Hawks, and Hyannis really turned things on late in the ball game. Hyannis 2-2 tied things knotted at 2 in this ball game. That one all the way up through the 6th inning. 2 runs scored by Hyannis. 1 came in the 3rd on a single from Davis Wenzel, and then Todd Lott scoring on an error after reaching base on a Will Holland single. Cotuit gets their first 2 runs of the game. Those both come in the 6th inning off a 2-run blast from Thomas Dillard out to right center field. It was 2-0 Hyannis. Cotuit knotted it at 2-2, and then in the 7th, Hyannis broke it open. Harbor Hawks put up a 3-spot on the Kettleers with 5 hits in that inning, along with 3 runs, RBI singles from Davis Wenzel, Matthew Barefoot, and Pedro Pages. 5 hits on the inning. The other 2 coming from Wilkie and Tommy Jew, who later scored in the inning. But Hyannis really prevailing that offense late, a surge in the 7th inning. Of course, Dylan Thomas slammed the door in the 9th inning. He has been as hot as any closer on the Cape League this season. Picks up yet another save. But to really turn to the real story here, Nick McDonald, right-hander out of Florida International University. Nick McDonald putting together his best start of the Cape League summer. 5 innings pitched, no runs, 7 strikeouts, and he had everything working tonight. Then the Harbor Hawks turned it over to the bullpen, used 5 different guys on the night, but they combined to throw the final 4 innings and slam the door on the Cotuit Kettleers. Mike Mockma allowed the only 2 runs of the night. That came in the top of the 6th inning. He lasted just the 3rd through 3 innings, or 3 hits, we should say. No walks, didn't strike anybody out. Then Wes Engel came on for a 3rd, followed by Riley Self, who picks up the win for Hyannis tonight. He threw an inning in 2/3 of no-run ball, giving up just 1 hit, punching out 2 hitters. Ryan Pepio coming in for 2 batters, and you can guess it, he struck out 2. Pepio, who's 3rd on the Cape in strikeouts up to this point, picks up an additional pair as he got the Harbor Hawks out of the 8th inning. And then Dylan Thomas, again, coming in for a scoreless 9th, allowed 1 base runner on a 2-out single, but nothing further. Hyannis 5-2 here over the Cotuit Kettleers, 2-2 in the 2018 Patriot Cup Series. Quickly, we'll take you around the rest of the league before we wrap it up here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. A lot going on throughout the rest of the league tonight, to say the least. But to take a quick look, the Brewster Whitecaps take down the YD Red Sox 6-1 in a shocker out at Stony Brook Field. YD, the hottest team on the Cape with the best record and most points, lose by 5 to the last place Brewster Whitecaps in the Eastern Division. Falmouth Commodores get a win at Doran Park on the road against the Bourne Braves. Falmouth came into the day 5th in the Western Conference with just 23 points. With a win tonight, they come into a tie with Cotuit for 4th place, both those teams vying for the last playoff spot. 2 games still going on. It's all but over at Veterans Field in Chatham as the first place Wareham Gatemen of the Western Division up 9-2. That one should be wrapping up shortly. Harwich up 4-1 over the Orleans Firebirds. That's at Eldridge Park, a 3rd and 4th place matchup in the Eastern Conference. That's around the rest of the league. And then one more time here at McKeon Park, a 5-2 win for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The final line for you tonight, Cotuit 2 runs on 10 hits, 1 error, left 8 on base. Hyannis with 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors, and stranded 8. Riley Self, the winning pitcher tonight, the right-hander out of Mississippi State. Meanwhile, Joseph Walsh takes the loss tonight for the Kettleers, the left-hander from Boston College, and Dylan Thomas coming into the 9th to pick up another save. 3 hours and 13 minutes your time for tonight. First pitch start time was 6:01 p.m. as the Harbor Hawks one final time take down the Cotuit Kettleers here on July the 11th at McKeon Park and move to 15-8-2 on the season, while Cotuit drops to 12-12-1. That'll do it here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks post-game show. I'm your host, Lyle Goldstein. You can catch our video post-game show on Hawk Talk and join us tomorrow as the Harbor Hawks make the trip out to Falmouth to take on the Commodores. First official trip out to Gup Fuller Field this season. That game set for tomorrow. We will talk to you guys then. I'm Lyle Goldstein signing off here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.